What is up, everybody? It is Saturday, September 26th, and this is Podcast Gameoverse, episode 43. We got a special guest today in the house. Rick, what is up?
I'm good, man. Same shit, different day.
Rick's here all the time. We got special guest level 0 in the house. For those of us who don't know, who are you?
I'm just a man that wants to put my opinions on the internet, and hopefully they don't get flamed. And right. I'm also a Twitch and YouTuber.
There you go. That's pretty good. I mean, that's what we all want at the end of the day, right? We just want our opinions heard.
I think so, and I think it's nice to just chat with other people who had different opinions and silently just be like, but mine's right, you know? Mine's better.
It's a balancing act on the internet. Like, half of me is like, I want to put my opinions out there, but I also don't want to get death threats for having them.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good line to draw, you know? It's like, I want to have fun, but I also would like to just live at home and not be afraid.
Yeah, it's respectable. Mm-hmm. Packed week this week. Yeah. Everyone throwing punches, mostly Microsoft, but moves are being made. So we're going to talk about that soon. But first, I want to talk about some games that I've been playing. Popped in that Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man. I know it's a couple years old now, but I'm just now getting around to it.
I love that you're playing it. That's one of my favorite games. I love it so much.
It's it's great game, fantastic game. But here's what I didn't know going in. I didn't know how open worldy it was. And boy is it open worldy. It's it's one of the reasons why I don't really play these types of open world games anymore, because it's just, you open the map and there's just icons and icons just all over the place of stuff that I just don't want to do. And this game was just rotten with just icons and different currencies for upgrades and levels up and gadgets and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I just don't want to do this. So I ended up just trudging through the main story. Didn't do a single side mission, not a one. And yeah, the game's great. I just don't like the I don't like the open world stuff. Hopefully Miles Morales, they kind of rein it in a little bit, because open world games, they've kind of gone a different direction, I think. You don't really see that anymore. So with this game come out in 2018.
Yeah.
I feel like that trend of just having just stuff all over the place is kind of dying off. Like Assassin's Creed is collect all the feathers, and there's 3,000 feathers all over the place, and you're like, man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, it gets a little too much, and it's, at least for me, when I was playing Spider-Man as well, there's just so much going on, it just detracts from everything else, and you're just like, am I having fun, or am I just running some old lady's errands? What am I doing here? I want to be Spider-Man. I want to go have fun, beat up some bad guys, maybe deliver some pizzas, but sometimes it's just too many things going on. You need to have some 5 or 6 good things, not 10 okay things.
I hear what you mean, and I agree with you guys to an extent. Mm-hmm. But here's my 2 cents on this. I found myself doing a lot of the side quests because I liked seeing more Spider-Man stuff. I liked finding the backpacks everywhere, because the stuff inside the backpack, it had a voice dialogue of what that stuff means to Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And I loved hearing that. As a Spider-Man fan, I loved hearing that shit. And even some of the other missions where you find all of Harry's labs, it was cool seeing Spider-Man talk about growing up and the kind of person Harry was. Like, it was really cool to hear some of that stuff. That's what kept me going. But you strip away all that, it really is just like a checklist of stuff to find and stuff to do. And that's what got me through it. But I can see that's not working for everybody, and I can respect that.
Yeah, and I guess I don't really have much attachment to, like, I'm not a comic book guy. I'm not a Marvel guy. I'm not a Spider-Man guy. So I enjoy the story that's here, but
The story's so good.
Oh yeah.
and the man, the Batman combat is like, it was getting a little on my nerves towards the end, but it was just enough that I didn't get super annoyed. But yeah,
That's another complaint I had too. I feel like it differentiates itself enough that it's Batman combat with a Spider-Man twist.
yeah,
And honestly, it makes more sense for Spider-Man because his spider sense like
definitely.
lets him dodge all that shit.
And he's just
So
so
I
much
like
more acrobatic that it makes sense that
yeah,
he's flying all over the place, whereas Batman is like,
exactly.
you cannot move like that. But
Exactly. And that's why like I liked it. I feel like it had enough of a twist. New Horizons is completely different. It's not completely different, in my opinion. You still have your basic attacks. You have a dodge button. The dodge is telegraphed. You have a combo meter that builds up with finishers you can do when you build up high enough combo meter. It's very similar to that WB game style combat that you see in like Shadow of Mordor and Batman and that fucking that Mad Max game they did. They all have a similar idea. But what I liked about Spider-Man is that, like we said, it makes more sense for his character. He has a spider sense, so it makes sense that a guy he can't see, he can still dodge out of the way when he goes to hit him. Makes sense he can jump around. It makes sense he has these finishers that involve him like webbing guys up or like throwing dudes into each other.
yeah,
I wouldn't say it's completely different, but it does do enough, in my opinion, to differentiate itself. But the whole time you're playing it, it's still gonna feel like if you played Batman, you have an idea of how the combat's gonna work.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. It's that perch to perch kind of play as well, and
Yeah.
there's a bit of gadgetry in there as well. Got some old staples from Spider-Man's, history, and then some newish ones. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me, it doesn't rely on stealth. I think is the big thing, which I guess is nice.
yeah. They
Yeah,
let
there's
you
only
do
like a
it.
couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
There's
it's
only
really
like a
just that
couple
hack and
missions
slash.
that use it anyway, and that's why I like it.
Hmm.
Um, Another cool thing about the game is the story is phenomenal. Oh my god, I
Oh yeah,
loved the story for the
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
it's well
As a
written.
Spider-Man, yeah, it's well written. As a Spider-Man fan, like it does justice to the character. Like I feel like this is the like truest Spider-Man we've gotten in a game in a very long time. Like it nails not just the cool Spider-Man stuff of him like saving the city, but also the fact that like you're balancing his day-to-day life too. Like I don't know, how far have you gotten on Wasabi? Have you beaten it yet?
I finished it in 2 days.
Okay, so one of my favorite things in the game is just this mission where like you get evicted from your apartment, but you were out fighting crimes for the past like 3 days. So when you get back, your eviction is like a total surprise to you. And then you have to track down like a garbage truck and get your shit back because your landlord threw out all your shit.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're doing that like as Spider-Man. You're like swinging around. You're like calling different like dumps to try to find your shit. And I'm like, that's such a cool idea. Like, because the character Spider-Man, his life, he can't keep his life in order. Like, he's always getting his Spider-Man shit mixed up with his day-to-day stuff.
yeah.
And it was cool to actually play through something like that in a game. I really like that.
Yeah,
Again, plus the ending fight was just, for me, it was emotional. Like, I loved it.
Oh yeah,
I
I
think
think it hit both notes.
my only issue with the story was that, as a not Marvel guy, someone who doesn't follow Spider-Man a lot, it really expects you to know absolutely everything. Like, it just jumps right into it. Doesn't really explain who these people are or what's happening. And I know, I get it. It's Spider-Man. People know what Spider-Man is generally. But like when you bring in Rhino and you bring in the Shocker and you bring
Yeah.
in Mysterio, I'm like, these are
Mhm.
like bad guys that if you don't follow Spider-Man, you've got no connection. Even Kingpin, like it starts with Kingpin and his stuff, and I'm like, I don't like. I know the name Kingpin, but I already knew it was Kingpin because he looks like Kingpin from the cartoons that I remember way back. But other than that, I have no idea what Kingpin's like deal is. So it kind of just jumps right into that and didn't explain anything. I was kind of lost with
Yeah,
all that.
there's a lot of it. Even if you're a Spider-Man fan, like, they changed the characters enough that it's different. Like that biker dude. It took me a lot. Like as a Spider-Man fan, it took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to realize that's supposed to be Tombstone. And I was like, whoa, he's completely fucking different.
Oh yeah,
supposed to
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like
It's super weird.
Tombstone. Yeah, when I was a kid, Tombstone was like a mafioso.
Yeah, yeah.
Which makes sense. Like that's when Spider-Man came out. Mafia crime was like the gang crime. It makes more sense now to make him a biker. But it took me forever. I'm like, who's this fucking ghoul-looking motherfucker in a fucking bike suit? And I was like, oh, that's supposed to be Tombstone. Okay, I think it's cool now.
I always remember Tombstone from the animated series where he looks like he's made of ice, and he talks in a very deep voice, and people just punch him. He's just like, "Hey man, don't do that. I'm not hurt by it."
Yeah,
it's like, God damn, bro.
Like I like what they did with them, but you're right. Like if you're a Spider-Man fan, there's still enough twist there.
Yeah,
to kind of make you do a double take. But the game really does expect you to know quite a bit about Spider-Man going in. Like if you go in like, I want to see what the Spider-Man dude's all about, this is not a good first introduction.
Yeah, it was just weird because I'm not sure what the canon is. Like I've seen those Tobey Maguire movies, and I saw the first Amazing Spider-Man, but like I'm not sure which one of those is like canon. Like I know Green Goblin and like is in both of those movies, but I don't know if that happens in this game. Like I don't know where this game is getting the canon, or if it's just making up its own.
The game is its own. Yeah, it has its own standalone canon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I liked it. In fact, all the character designs are almost completely original.
Yeah.
Like they do enough like based on like the comics and the shows. Even Peter Parker in this game is based off of like all the different Peter Parker incarnations in different movies and books and shows, and I really like that a lot. But it is its own standalone canon. So you have to go in like knowing like all these different Spider-Man stories to get it. But it does help to be familiar with the character and his villains, which is why I liked it a lot because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. So seeing all this stuff, like the way it was portrayed in the game, it was really cool to me. Like I loved it. This is probably one of my favorite games now because of how good the story was.
Yeah. Well, it's enough Spider-Man, I think.
Yep. Yeah. It's a good game. If you haven't played it yet, go pick it up, man. It's a solid game. It's a very solid game. I have been playing. I picked up Dragon Quest XI for my Switch.
Ooh.
Wow.
And that is a lot more fun than I was expecting it to be, man. Like it's an old JRPG-esque JRPG. Like this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, this game. If you want something that like completely changes. If you want something that completely changes like what JRPGs do and what they mean, this is not going to do it. Like this game is set in stone on what it is, what it wants to be. But there's something charming about it, man. Like I really like what it does do, even though it's like a basic. I don't want to say basics. That's kind of mean. But even though it's like it's a traditional Japanese role playing game, it nails those like fundamentals so well.
Yeah,
that it's fun to play. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I feel like there's not a lot of JRPG-ass JRPGs coming out anymore.
Yeah, you're right. And that's another reason why I like it so much, because so many games are like trying to like break JRPG conventions. You have like Persona 5, which is like, oh, we're in modern times and we have a dating sim mechanic, and Final Fantasy doesn't even do turn-based stuff anymore. And also it's like set in the future. With like fucking guns and spaceships and shit. But Dragon Quest, it's so pure in what it's doing that I love it. I really like it, and it's really cool to see something like this. It's like really good vanilla ice cream. You know what I mean? Like as basic as vanilla ice cream is, when you get like really good, like homemade vanilla bean, like it's better than all the other stuff with the fluff on it. You know what I mean? Like it nails those fundamentals so well that it's a fun game to play. I got it like a week ago, and I think I've already dumped like 12 hours into it.
Ooh.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but I work fucking like 10-hour days, so that's a lot of time for me.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun game. If you like Japanese role-playing games, you will love Dragon Quest XI. Like that's my review. Go pick it up. The Switch version also has some enhanced music. It uses an orchestral soundtrack now, and it has some exclusive missions and items that weren't available on the launch game. So there's another reason to go pick it up. It's really good. I love it.
Ooh, yeah, I've been having a lot of people recommend me this series recently, and because I'm a huge fan of JRPGs, both from the modern side and both from the classic side, I guess, if you would separate them. But you really just can't beat a good old romp through like a medievalish setting where there's some sort of like an elemental base onto it, on top of like, here's a warrior class, here's a cleric, here's mages. Like there's just something. It's as you were explaining, it's that simplicity that is really just gets you going. You don't have to worry about some like emo tomboy coming in being like, ugh, the Dragonians are sending their airship in to kill us. Oh no, we must get the future crystal stone, and then they're shooting laser beams everywhere, and you're just like, yeah.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about it. Like it nails those fundamentals so well that it's still a fun romp, even though it's fundamental. Like I've mentioned this before on the podcast. Like tropes exist for a reason. Like formulas exist for a reason because they work. And this game, like it nails it. It nails it so well. Like it's a really good game, especially again if you like JRPGs, you will like Dragon Quest XI.
I'm definitely gonna give it a try for sure.
Yep,
I'd definitely be. It's been a while since I've invested in one, so I think Persona 5 was the last one, and that was like 3 years ago, I guess.
Yeah. If you play it on PC, I think Game Pass is gonna have the enhanced edition in December.
Okay,
awesome. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to. If you have a Switch, honestly, like it feels like this game was meant for the Switch. Like it's so good. I can take it anywhere I want, and I can still grind if I get up and go somewhere. Like it's really cool. But if you just want to play it, you don't want to drop like $60 on it. Wait till December. It's going to be out on Game Pass.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'll keep my eye open for that. Yep. I'm definitely down for that.
All right, Xero, what you been playing?
Well, I'm a big single player guy, so I've been taking this journey recently into like a bunch of like multiplayer games. So I've played some like MOBAs in the past, but I've never really played like shooters. So I've been trying to play more of like Apex and Valorant, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just giving them a shot. I'm terrible at all of them. My teammates flame me all the time. But it's fun. It's something that I just didn't experience throughout my gaming encyclopedia or whatever. It's I've always loved those single player games. I love like beat 'em ups, and I love I love JRPGs. I loved just doing things by myself. So I just never really did these big multiplayer things. I played Halo, but not like in a mouse and keyboard kind of setting. So I've been trying that, and it's going. My self-esteem's never been lower.
Are you playing those on console or PC?
I'm running Apex on my PS4, and then I'm doing Valorant on PC.
Okay, I feel like the attitude on console versus PC is like vastly different. Yeah, maybe not so much these days, but there's an expectation on PC that you're going to be using microphones. I feel like consoles not so much. At least in Apex, they have their pinging system is like really good, so you don't always need a mic in those situations. But like Valorant, especially, I hate that game. By the way, I'm gonna put that out there.
Right. Yeah, you've made that very clear.
All good. I don't think it's a game to be liked, to be honest. I think it's like you enjoy it for a little bit, but you'll have a lot of hate, mostly going through it. It's just because it's like a team game, and you have to trust other people to also play a team with you. And if one person doesn't, you're just not gonna have fun.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you that there's a different culture on both console and PC. And I think it's a better excuse to not have a mic on a console, because usually it's like I need my Sony brand headset in order to talk, and that's like that doesn't come with the console. It's an extra thing I have to get. So I think just since it's been introduced, console multiplayer, I think people are just like more text based, or just you just feel it out. You feel it out. If you don't like your teammate, you assassinate them, and you're just like.
But I also asked that. Do you feel you're better versus like with a controller or a keyboard and mouse?
Oh, controller all the way. I mean, I've hardly really done keyboard and mouse for anything. I've always been a big console player. I mean,
yeah.
So for me, it's night and day for sure. So that's why I'm like trying to challenge myself, get out of my comfort zone. I've definitely, my wrists feel just terrible, because it's just like it's such a different movement. I feel a lot more comfortable with a controller, but with mouse and keyboard, it feels weird. I keep hitting the escape key. I'm fumbling everywhere. It's great.
Too many keys on a keyboard, man. The way God intended was to have a controller in your hand when playing video games.
Exactly.
Keyboards are for
People
work.
get upset.
I feel the opposite, man. Like I started on console.
Yeah.
But when I built my PC, I challenged myself to play shooters with a mouse and keyboard, and I feel a lot more accurate and comfortable with a mouse and keyboard than I do on a controller.
Yeah, I think just in general, you have a lot more control. I think if you're making that jump from console to PC, I think the learning curve is there, but I think the result's going to be way better, because you're going to have like your precise movement's going to be on point.
Yeah,
you're just going to laser people across the map just with ease. But with console, it's like you gotta train that motion a little bit more.
Yeah, I hear you, and I've always been the kind of person who I have as Wasabi likes to quote, there's a tool for every job. Like when I play fight games, I have a fight stick. When I play console games, I have a controller I like to use. And when I play shooters, I use a mouse and keyboard. Like I don't just strictly sit with mouse and keyboard for everything. Like there's a controller for every game I like to use. There's a control style for every game I like to play. And that's what I bounce with. But first person shooters, like 110%, I'm going to use the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
And I caught your stream last week. This is when I first met you, and you were playing Super Mario 3D All Stars. Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, I definitely have a lot to say about it. But it's cool for for me. I have all the originals with me, so to compare it is I guess tough. I guess it's tough because I know the originals so well and the way they feel and everything. So to play them on a different controller on a different console, you have to relearn, especially for Sunshine. They've inverted the camera for no reason. Like it's normal now, but originally it's inverted. So when you get those muscle memories back into it, you're just like, you're like.
Yeah. What I didn't know is that they don't even give you the option either.
No, they don't.
What, really?
Yeah, no, there's no, and this so I think overall it's kind of a lazy remaster. I think it's great if you don't have any of these games and you just want to replay them. But if you kind of already have them or just have any idea of how they control, you can't change any of the control settings. The weirdest thing, though, I will say, is that on Super Mario Sunshine, you can use a GameCube controller, but it doesn't have the push function for the GameCube. Because I don't know if you guys remember, when you're playing that game on the GameCube, there's like two notches on your triggers where it's like you have like a half press and they have a full press, and they do different things in the game. Of like you can move and spray, and then if you hold it all the way down, you stop and you spray and you angle it. But that just doesn't exist, even though you can use a GameCube controller.
I don't remember that, but I do remember the triggers had like a half press and a full press. I just didn't know, I couldn't remember if Sunshine implemented it or not. God, that sucks.
yeah. So it's again, it's a bunch of these little things that I don't think a lot of people will put a lot of thought into, but it just kind of it definitely irked me a little bit. And I think if I were to rank all of them, I think the Galaxy one is the best port. They made the motion control nice and easy. Sunshine, honestly, the only issue I had with Sunshine, it looks amazing, but the controller thing, I was like, that's kind of annoying. But it's, it is what it is. And then I've never been good with 64. I had an N64 growing up, but I was never good at that game. It just makes me upset. I keep dying. I just keep dying, and then like I throw the penguin off the cliff to feel better, and I never do. It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's sad, but
yeah. Like it's such a bummer because like I was so excited when it got announced, but when I saw like what they did with it, I was really upset because I'm like, this is kind of compared to the other like remasters we've had, with Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and even Mafia, like the first Mafia game just got a remaster too. Like there's so much work that was put into those. And it's like, what the fuck? Why can't I'm just jealous that Nintendo doesn't feel the need to put in that effort. They're just like, nah, we nailed it the first try.
And I was saying before, like the work has already been done for them by the fans. Like if they wanted to, they could just go on GitHub and download whatever fan-made fixes. Like there's a fan-made widescreen Xbox 360 controller, fully upgraded version of Mario 64. They could just take that and just port it to the Switch if they wanted to. There's a bunch of fan-made fixes for Galaxy. Like even the fire in 64, there's a fire texture that was wrong and no one ever knew about it until like a couple months ago. Someone was like, hey, did you guys know that this texture is wrong? And then someone fixed it. Like, when you get burnt and his butt is like black and it's like black specks, that's not supposed to look like that.
Okay.
Someone fixed it, but they didn't even bother to take that fix and put it in this game. So
and I think there's a lot of easy fixes, and I think now Nintendo has made the leap into like DLC life. They've kind of come full circle with it, and they're like, oh, like we can actually add updates to stuff. So I think a lot of these problems that I personally had could be fixed with an update, and importing a controller setting or like. Yeah, as you said, like even making like a widescreen setting for it. I think these are easy things to implement. So if they want to do it, they definitely can. It's there, but if they will do it,
I don't think they ever fixed Zelda, that Zelda game they ported. The which one was that?
Are you talking about Wind Waker or Twilight Princess?
No, the Game Boy one they ported.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, Link's Awakening. Yeah, that had performance issues, and I don't think they ever patched that.
No, I think they kept it as the original and I think that's something to note as well, is that Nintendo's pretty good at like keeping things as they were, just to be like, hey, this is gonna be the game you kind of remember. There might be some small tweaks. I think like the Wind Waker HD remake, they had some small tweaks and basically better life changes of just faster sailing and like less collectible shenanigans. So it's like, but for the most part, it's like you could do similar things in both games, like glitching and weirdness wise. Like you can do basically both in both.
And that's another thing that frustrates me because like they have the capacity to do that. Like Wind Waker was a huge overhaul from the original game. Like they updated the graphics to run on the Wii U. To mostly Wii U standards. They added touchscreen support for the Wii U tablet to control your inventory. And it's like, why couldn't you do that for these Mario games or something similar? Like,
it feels weird. It feels weird that they just and the time that it came out was also kind of strange, and it was very quick turnaround of it being announced to it coming out, and the weirdness that I'm still really intrigued. It's like a murder mystery show. I'm super intrigued to see how this ends because it's only available until March that you can get this collection, both physical and online. So I'm curious what the secret twist is going to be. Like, are they going to come out with them all separately, or are they going to come out with like, for whatever reason, a second bundle of 3D? Like, it's just, I don't know. I want to see where this wild train goes.
Well. Only time will tell with this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to see where it goes.
Yeah.
It's just a bummer because I look at what their competition's done, and I'm like, come on, Nintendo.
Yeah.
In other news, though, there's something I wanted to talk about when I heard of it. Microsoft bought ZeniMax and Bethesda for $7.5 billion.
Crazy,
Which
man.
is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. but as Wasabi said in the Discord when this happened, it would be pretty dope to see it like help out 343 with Halo.
Yeah,
I would
I
love
think
to see what that looks like.
there's parts of this that people aren't thinking about. They're not taking into consideration that all of these studios are going to be all under the same wing. So, like, they've got the coalition making Gears. What if like Machine Games, who makes the Wolfenstein games, what if they helped them out with Gears a little bit and just made that extremely badass and over the top?
Yeah. Or, now that Obsidian, is under the Microsoft banner too, we could and Bethesda's under it, we can probably get, Fallout New Vegas too. Something Bethesda fans have been bitching about for the past like 6 years. It's finally possible now. All everyone can think is, I want to buy an Xbox to play the new Fallout. Like, you don't have to. That's not what they're doing.
No.
Yeah.
And even then, you should be playing on PC because Game Pass is a thing. But joking aside, like, there's a lot of cool possibilities here that people aren't thinking about. Everyone's just mad. From what I've seen, everyone's just mad that like Microsoft has all these exclusives.
And they shouldn't be mad. If
they shouldn't be mad.
Microsoft's built up so much goodwill and positivity for their pro consumer practices. I highly doubt that they will just have an instant heel turn and go, nope, everything is Bethesda completely exclusive from here on out. So fuck all you Nintendo and Sony. You're not getting Bethesda games anymore. Like they're not going to do that. They would never do that.
Yeah. And not just that, but like, I think Microsoft, if Bethesda, releases their games multi-platform, and for every sale of like, Elder Scrolls 6 that sells on PS4, Microsoft is still going to get a cut of that. They wouldn't just throw away that money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's good for business across the board. Like I mean, there's two camps of thought of like those people who say that anything should be available on any console or whatever or PC. Like, and then you have the people who are, well, if you buy an Xbox, you want to have the ability to play like Xbox exclusive stuff, but then also have the enjoyability to also go play like the new Tomb Raider or go play out like these new games from other developers without having to be like locked into one thing. So I agree. It's I don't think they're gonna go full hard and be like, well, if you want to play the new Skyrim, I hear it's pretty great. You just listen, you gotta put on the Xbox. I gotta play Xbox, man. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we all have like 7 copies of Skyrim already anyway, so what's another one?
Exactly. Well, exactly. And here's the cool thing too, is like, as someone who has like Game Pass on PC, I'm like excited because I know when the new Fallout comes out or the new Elder Scrolls comes out, I'm not paying $60 to play it. I just download it with Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
or,
like that's
$70.
That's cool.
Like
70, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's happening. Like we keep like jumping the PS5 games gonna be $70, or they're trying to do that. But let's get into actually what happened here. So Microsoft, they bought ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion. To put that in perspective,
that's a lot more than I think when they bought Minecraft. It was like 1 billion, something like that. Something stupid.
I think Minecraft was 1 billion. When Disney bought Star Wars, that was I think 4 billion. So just like Star Wars, this
4 billion.
is double that. So this is, I think, the single biggest purchase ever in video games history. So
crazy.
Which, it's still cool, man. Like, I'm excited to see. I'm just thinking of all these possibilities, dude. Again, like, we can probably see like New Vegas 2 and all these games are coming to Game Pass now.
Yeah.
Like,
and in
it's awesome.
reality, we're dreaming about this stuff, but in reality, none of this is going to happen for like another like 4 or 5 years. Like, we're not going to see the fruits of this labor for a while. So,
but now it's more of a possibility than it was before this got announced, before this happened.
Exactly.
Like everyone went from we're never going to see like New Vegas 2 to, oh, there's a chance now.
We don't even people think they want New Vegas 2. That's not what they want. Okay? They
just want Obsidian to make another Fallout game. It doesn't have to
and
be
the
New
Outer
Vegas
Worlds,
2.
the Outer Worlds was like close, but not like it didn't have that scope of a Fallout. It didn't have the scope of a Bethesda game. So if they can have another swing at that with Bethesda by their side, I mean they're already working on their next game is Agony Avowed. That's their next game. They already showed that, and that looks like an Elder Scrolls style game.
Yeah.
But so we already know like they're doing it, but now Bethesda's there. Maybe they can help out with that a little bit and kind of give us what we want.
Yeah.
Nujariah says KOTOR. That's EA, Nujariah. That's not that has nothing to do with this. All right.
Obsidian did make KOTOR 2, but that's as far as that connection goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as far as that connection goes. But and another thing I want to add too is that it doesn't fuck with like all the deals that are already like in his set up. Like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo are still going to be PlayStation exclusive. So all of you who went and bought a PS5 for those games, it's still coming to that system exclusively.
I don't know who bought a PS5. There are people extremely excited for Deathloop, and not that it looks bad, but let's get into it. PS5, they had their showcase last week as well.
Yeah.
Ago, but man, they anyone get their pre-order in for PS5? If you wanted one, did you get it? First, did you want one? And second, did you get it?
I did not want one, but my brother actually got his email that he can pre-order, but he didn't do it because, I mean, there's really nothing. There's nothing there that makes you want to buy a PS5. As fucked up as it is to admit.
Yeah, I mean that's fair to say. And for me, I wanted the PS5. I will eventually get it, but I always have like a rule when new consoles come out is that I usually wait. Like I usually wait like a good chunk of period of time because I just for me it's like a lot of things kind of come dead on arrival of just like problems with consoles or like things are dead because they're pushing out. I mean, when you think about it, they're pushing out millions of these consoles across the world, and there's going to be a lot of duds when they're doing this rush. But then when they do the next shipment of all these consoles, it's going to be a lot better. So I usually just wait and just see how it is and see how people are liking it. And I think as you're saying, Rick, it was there's not really anything that's pulling me towards like I need that day one.
Yeah.
There's things I would want to play, but it's like it doesn't warrant it. It's not 1-to-1.
Exactly. Like, oh God, weird comparison, but when the Switch got announced, like their lineup was like, oh, we're gonna have Breath of the Wild day one. Like that was a big pull. A lot of people bought a Switch day one for Breath of the Wild.
Yep. Me raises hand.
I wanted to buy. Yeah, I wanted to buy a Switch for Shin Megami Tensei 5, but that wasn't going to be a day one release, so I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But PlayStation, it's like they got some good games. Don't get me wrong. Like the Miles Morales expansion looks really cool, but Spider-Man's been out for 2 years already, and I don't want to drop $70 to get a game I already played through and the expansion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's I think you need that variety, and I think what they've shown a lot of games that are coming and a lot of like things getting much like the Miles Morales stuff, and I think they were doing like a Devil May Cry stuff as well, like a new addition to it. So I think there's a lot coming towards it, but I think right off the bat it's like do I need to? Like a lot of my PS4 stuff will work on it, but if that's the case, I already have a PS4 in that sense, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll wait and see. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And this goes. I don't want people to listen to me and think I hate Sony. Like I have a PS4. I own a PS4. I don't own an Xbox One. If that tells you. my opinion.
Same.
And but I feel the same way with the Xbox, the new Xbox too.
For sure.
There's nothing day one that's gonna make me go out and buy it day one. I'm probably gonna wait. I'll probably get it like 6 months after it comes out to like a year, depending on what releases, what the reviews pull in with it. We'll have to wait and see. Since we're kind of doing this out of order from the show, there were some good games announced, like Resident Evil Village got a new trailer that looked really good. Like you said, Devil May Cry 5 is getting a special edition for the PS5 with a new expansion to play as Virgil, which is something people have been begging to come into that game since it released. Everyone who listens to the podcast knows I'm a huge DMC fan, so to hear that coming out, I'm like, well, I guess I'm buying that game again. But they announced it's coming for PS4. So I'm like, I just gotta buy the expansion. Yeah, the expansion's coming out on PS4, so cool. Instead of paying like $70 to play Devil May Cry 5 again, I can just buy the expansion for like.
I know they said it's not coming to PC after the fact, and that's when I tuned out. But they started their whole thing with. They started off with a banger, though. They started off with Final Fantasy 16.
Hell yeah!
Which looks great. It looks like the kind of Final Fantasies that I like the most, which is they're the ones that are not these like lovey-dovey, like the protagonist is like a dreamboat and it's like a love story wrapped in like, oh, you're our only hope, and like the whole world is in danger and stuff like that. Like my favorite Final Fantasy is probably Final Fantasy 12. Is that the one with Vaughn and the
oh yeah, that one's good.
I like that one the most because it was all like, it wasn't like the world is in danger and you're our only hope. It was, hey, it's like a political struggle going on. There's these warring factions, and yeah, it was a more down to earth story that you can relate to because like it wasn't this whole world's in danger thing. And that's kind of what this looks like. Yeah, that's kind of what this looks like. It looks like a more down to earth, like, no, we're humans here. We're people, and there's other people trying to do us wrong, and we're gonna stop them, type stuff. It's a story that makes more sense.
And what I like about it too is it's going back to the drawing board in the sense of it's not this like high sci-fi fantasy game like 15 was, or like what 7 is. It looks like it's going back to that sword and sorcery thing that Final Fantasy was popular for.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see that too with this action system. I go back and forth. I change depending on what day of the week you ask me. I'm like, oh, I like turn-based Final Fantasy. Oh, I like this more action-heavy Final Fantasy. But this one looks like it's leaning more on the action side of it. Because 15, I don't know if you guys play 15, but it's kind of a middle ground for an action Final Fantasy game. The combos are really simple. They had a dodge button that you didn't have to like perfect dodge with. You just held it, you dodged.
Yeah.
And this looks 15. Like it's 15. I have. That's a whole other fucking video.
That game is bad. That game is the easiest JRPG I've ever played in my life. Never got a game over. Never died once.
Yeah, you really had to try. You really had.
But this looks like it's got some balls to it, man. Like. Oh, yeah. It looks like it's got the combat I want to see. The game looks a lot darker than other Final Fantasy games.
It looks like it might be M-rated. You know, the only M-rated Final Fantasy game ever was
Type Zero.
Type Zero, and that one was great. No one played it.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought more would have been a little more M-rated. I feel like that would have been more of a trend.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we'll have to wait and see, man. But I'm sold on 16. But I was sold on 15 when I saw the trailer too. So
yeah,
it was the car. You can admit it. It was the sweet car. You're like, damn, I want to drive that car.
The car was great. That was actually the only time I died in that game was when I crashed. I crashed and blew up, and I saw a game over, and I was like, oh, that's what a game over looks like.
One thing I fucking hate about the game is it opens up. And the game wants you to like explore. You know, the game encourages you like, hey, you got a car, you can drive now. Let's go explore. But you need to wait till later in the story to drive at night. Like the game doesn't let you drive at night from the beginning.
Yeah.
but it gives you the option to drive off road whenever you want, like from the beginning of the game. So I had this moment where I was driving the car and I was driving off road, and day turned to night, and the game was like, "Oh, you can't drive around at night; it's too dangerous." And so it didn't let me drive the fucking car. And I was like, "So what do? I gotta walk to a fucking hotel now?"
Yeah, just like real life, you know.
Because here's what happened. Like, so I noticed there was like a logic glitch in the game, dude. Like, because the game's at the point where like I can't drive at night, where Ignis has to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever it's nighttime, Ignis drives, and he drives like right to a hotel if you're that early on in the game. But because I drove the car off road, Ignis couldn't drive it. He could only follow the road. He's only programmed to follow the road. So I was in this weird logic loop where he would tell me like, "Oh, it's too dark to drive. Let me drive." And he doesn't do anything. So I'm like, "Fuck! I ended up having to physically walk to the closest hotel. I was pissed. I couldn't fucking believe this game just happened.
But that's how I played the game anyway. Like I just ran everywhere because you could drive, but you couldn't. They didn't let you go off road, right? And
not early on. I played the game like a year after it came out when they added like this off-road like mod to your car.
Oh, yes.
But
I played that. I played that launch version, and I played it before they fixed the game. So, but
no, like, I ran. It's fucking. It's a Band-Aid, dude. Like it's god damn it. I'm mad.
I ran everywhere in that game because there were like items on the ground that you could only pick up if you were running. And if you drove, like you didn't get in any combat, you didn't really you couldn't develop your character if you just drove everywhere. So plus it was just boring driving everywhere. So like after running that entire game and just picking everything up and fighting everything, like I had 99 of every item. I had I maxed out every single one of my characters. Like that was part of the reason why I never died, I guess. But yeah,
dude, the level economy in that game is fucking broken. Like it's so easy to over level yourself by sleeping in hotels that like double your XP. It's like there's so much of that game that wasn't thought out. Like there are parts that were cool that I loved about the game. I loved hearing the guys talk to each other. Even like the unscripted dialogue where they just talk while you're fighting is fucking cool. But like everything else, dude, like it falls apart. Like all the NPCs who aren't a main character look like shit. The game's super linear. Even though it tries to be open, it's still very linear because there's a bunch of emptiness, nothing to do between those missions, so there's nothing to explore.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it. I'm so frustrated with that game. I'm getting mad talking about it. Let's change subject. Hopefully 16. Yeah, hopefully 16 doesn't do that. We also got a new Five Nights at Freddy's game announced if you're into that kind of thing. But the big thing I want to talk about is the PlayStation Plus collection.
Yeah.
Which is included if you have PlayStation Plus. And if you get a PS5, it comes with 18 fucking games. Oof. You are getting, I'm going to fucking just list through them here. You're getting Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, fuck that game, God of War, Infamous Second Son, The Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 7, Uncharted 4, and Until Dawn.
Crazy.
So here's the problem with this. Not a problem. It's just
a concern.
These games are old, man. These games are old.
Yeah.
They're PS4 games that you're playing on your PS5. If you're buying a PS5 to play PS4 games on day one, something's wrong. Like, do not buy a PS5 just for this.
Yeah.
Like it's a great
nice
deal.
Bonus. Yeah.
It's a nice bonus if you've never played these games. Like if you didn't have a PS4 and you're just coming into PlayStation fresh, great deal.
Great.
But yeah, it's just you can get an Xbox and not only play Xbox One games, but also Xbox Series S/X games on day one. Newsrise says, "Why buy Xbox?" I've just said why buy Xbox because when you buy an Xbox Series X, you can get Game Pass, and you can play Series X games on day one with that.
Yep.
Whereas this thing on PS5, there are no PS5 games in there. they're all PS4 games, and they're
Yeah.
old. Like, I mean, they're good games, but
yeah, they're good games. And granted, they're gonna have a bump to performance. I mean, the SSD drive alone is gonna cut down on load time for all of these games.
yeah.
But again, if you don't buy a PS5 just for this, don't hear this collection and be like, oh, there's my reason to buy a PS5. No, and let's be honest, most of these games, like if you've had a PS4, you've probably already played.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's I really see this as someone trying to pull in someone into the Sonyverse. Yeah. It's really just for people who didn't hop on the PS4 train. They're kind of maybe they're Xbox people, and they're just like, oh man, like it'd be fun to try all these exclusives. And I think that is its purpose, because if you're a PS4 player, you've definitely played most, if not all, of these games, because they're all wonderful games, but they're also old. But if you never played them, I think this is the good chance to be like, hey, like we don't have a lot coming out of PS5 right away, but like, hey, you could play boost in performance PS4 games, and they're all still great games, but it adds value to a new consumer rather than an old consumer, right?
Exactly.
Which is it's nice, but it's also kind of like, I wish just give us a little crumb, just throw it our way.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, Miles Morales probably should have been included in that collection, if I'm being honest. Like, don't give me the whole Spider-Man PS4, just that Miles Morales expansion, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I know they never do that.
No, it makes too much money. Like the first Spider-Man game smashed records, so it'd be insane if they did that.
And that's the difference between what PlayStation is doing, what Xbox is doing, because Xbox is like, you just want Halo day one, it's on there.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Just go pay $5 a month, and you got the entire Master Chief collection.
I'll say the deal breaker for this PlayStation Plus thing is there's no knack. Where's knack?
Or knack?
Where is knack?
Where's knack? Knack 1, knack 2.
Knack 1, knack 2.
Staple games of PlayStation. I think honestly, the pillars. I will dare to say it. The pillars of PlayStation.
Like, that should be the outrage.
Give me some Parappa the Rappa. If they made a new Parappa the Rappa game and they were like PS5, I was like, day one, I want to rap.
They made a new one on PS4, didn't they? It got a remaster.
Well, yeah, I got a remaster of the first two games.
But you want a whole new one?
Yeah, a whole new one. One that doesn't have lag and input delays. And
I did a whole opening to the podcast just solely on Parappa.
It's pretty funny.
You have no idea how many people don't know what
all
Parappa
the time,
is.
dude.
It's
all the time, dude. You told me you made that Parappa video fucking 6 years ago, and you're still getting
still getting comments like, "Oh, how are you so bad at this game, dude? This guy sucks." I'm like, you're 8 years old, man. You have no idea what this game is. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm getting riled up again. All right.
All right. We got a price too. So PS4 is dropping $499 with the disc model, $399 with discless. It's coming out November 12th, USA and Japan, and November 19th, the rest of the world. So there you go, man. Start saving now. Tax season's right around the corner, so
it's cool because everyone thought that discless version would be like a $50 at the most price reduction, but no, they took it down on $100. And I think why they did that is because they know that they're going to make their money back on those PlayStation Store. The only way you can buy games is through that PlayStation Store with this. So they know, guaranteed, they're getting all of that money instead of you can't buy secondhand games or used games like you could with a disc. So
exactly,
it's a smart move there.
Yeah,
it's an extremely smart move. I mean,
even if their release was a fucking mess. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So, God, do you want to go over the Clusterfuck? That was their showcase with their pre-orders, man.
Yeah. So I was following this a while because I wasn't interested in buying a PS5, right? But they put the stuff out. I'm like, I'll throw my hat in the ring. Because they put up the I didn't put a link here, but remember they put out the link that was like, hey, get your sign up here to be the first in line for a PS5 pre-order. And you know, I signed up for that like the second it went up. I mean, I'm certain that I was one of the first because like I shared that link with people, but not before I fucking signed up.
Of course.
Yeah.
So they put that link out to like guarantee like be the first to pre-order, and never got an email for that. I know some people said they got emails for that. I did not.
Yeah, my brother got one. Lucky dude.
So back in July, Jeff Keighley had an interview with Eric Lempel. He's the lead marketing head for PlayStation. And like he asked him, he was like, "Hey man, people are like lining up in front of GameStop thinking that this thing's gonna like launch right now. Like, what's happening?" And Eric Lempel was like, no. You don't. Nothing's happening. We haven't announced anything yet. When pre-orders go live, we will give you a way advance notice. We will let you know. Like he said this.
Yeah.
I'm laughing right now because I know how the story ends.
Yeah, and you're one of the first to actually touch the DualSense.
Yeah, I was gonna put the video, but I don't know exactly where he says it, but it's in this video here. I'll link that in the chat. But yeah, he was like, "We'll give you plenty of notice. Don't worry about it." And then so right after the Sony conference, right after that showcase, PlayStation tweeted. This is what they tweeted. They tweeted, PS5 pre-orders will be available starting as early as tomorrow at select retailers. And it was like, whoa, man, tomorrow? You said like we're gonna get advance notice. Where's my email? Like I'm supposed to be the first. I was the first person on that email, dude. I put my name in there. You didn't tell me this. So like they were like, tomorrow? That's pretty soon. And then, you know, people were like, okay, tomorrow, fine. Like I can deal with tomorrow. That's no big deal. I'll go to sleep, wake up first thing tomorrow morning, and I'll get my pre-order in. Nah, son. Walmart came out and was like, fuck that. You want your PS5? Get it right now in Walmart. And
I love it. Oh God.
Walmart's going for the jugular. Jeez.
Nightmare, man. Fucking nightmare.
So yeah, Walmart just was like, they just yeeted and was like, no, get it right now at Walmart.com. And they broke the internet, man, because after Walmart did it, Target did it, Best Buy did it. I think GameStop might have done it like a little later. And then Amazon held off. I'll give Amazon credit. They waited until the next day, but even then it was too late. Too late. Them shit sold out, broke the internet. No one, even if you had it in your cart, it was like someone snatched it out your cart and took it. Like it was just all hell broke loose, man.
Ain't that a bitch? Oh man.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
That's what happened. And then PlayStation came out and they were like, hey, we're sorry for what happened. We're gonna get more stuff out there soon. And that's kind of just how it happened. And look, pre-order stuff is always a mess, but they could have at least, I don't know why you told people. First of all, I don't know why you had these email like these sign-ups when you weren't going to adhere to that in the first place. I don't know why you told people, hey, it's not going to be, we're going to give you advance notice, so don't worry about it. Like, I don't know why you told people that. And none of it was true because it was a clusterfuck either way.
Yeah, dude. It was a fucking nightmare. Jesus.
But then, pre-order stuff aside, after that conference, Jeff Keighley hit Twitter and was like, hey, here's what's happening. Like Jeff Keighley announced a bunch of Sony news that wasn't in the conference itself. So,
no, what, really?
Yeah, you didn't know about this? As soon as the conference ended, Jeff Keighley came out on Twitter and was like, yeah, hey, this game, Demon's Souls is actually a launch game. And yeah, no,
that's amazing. That's
like
amazing.
Jeff Keighley was announcing stuff that wasn't in the in the conference. That would be nice to know. So
Oh God.
what all did he say? He said,
I think he said Demons. Yeah, according to your notes, Demon Souls is going to be releasing, and
yeah,
Destruction All Stars. I don't even know what that is. What the fuck is Destruction All Stars?
Destruction All Stars is that game they showed that looks like, um, it was like Rocket League, where you can get out the car and shoot things.
It's like demo Fortnite. If you had like
Yeah,
Burnout mixed in with like Death Battle, Super Trucks, and you're in this Rocket
yeah,
League type arena, but you look like a Fortnite character with like
yeah.
weird smiley masks. And
Is this game $70?
$70.
we don't think about it. We don't.
Okay,
We
that
just wait.
should have been free with that fucking PlayStation Plus collection.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
It's
especially
like take Final
compared
Fantasy.
to
Like take
Rocket
Final
League, which
Fantasy out.
is free.
Yeah.
No. Listen. It's gonna have an amazing story mode. You're gonna be this, rags to riches kind of story. You're gonna be coming into the demolition with your crappy little tow truck, and you'll be like, "I'm gonna win it all for my family, finally." And then it's listen, you're gonna cry. I'm just gonna say you're gonna cry.
The top comment in this, I don't know if this is sarcastic or not, but it has like 1,000 like likes. The fact you're able to run around makes this a game changer. And I can't tell if that's sarcastic or not.
Wait, and what?
For Destruction All Stars. It's on the official like trailer. The top comment is the fact you're able to run around makes this a game changer.
Oh, I hope one of the replies is it just says revolutionary. Like that's all it says.
The top reply is fact.
Damn.
And this other guy's like, the wall run's cool too. This other guy's like, yeah, for real, that's gonna be dope. Like, I can't tell if this is like a joke and everyone's like in on it, or if everyone's legit excited you can get out of the car.
But wait, can you pause the game too? Because that would be crazy. Like that's some next level.
Jesus. Well, I think Sony learned a lesson.
Yeah.
I don't know what that lesson is, but I hope they learned it.
Yeah. So the list of launch games is Astro's Playroom, which again, none of this was in the actual conference. They didn't tell you what's going to be on the thing when it comes out.
What the fuck, man?
Astro's Playroom, which is pre-installed on PS5. Demon Souls is a launch game, $70.
Yeah.
Destruction All Stars is a launch game, $70. Spider-Man Miles Morales is $50, but the Ultimate Edition is $70, and that comes with the remaster of the original game, which is the only way you can get the remaster of the original game is by buying Miles Morales Ultimate Edition.
That pisses me off.
Yeah.
And Sackboy, Big Adventure. Sackboy's Big Adventure. I feel like the name changed on this.
It might have. I mean, it would have been easier to just call it like New Little Big Planet or Big Little Planet. I don't know. Just something.
Or Big Sackboy.
Yeah, it's like boy. It's I'm excited.
Yeah, and that's 60. So I don't know. Yeah, like the prices are weird because they're trying to do the $70 thing, but they're also like, well, no, this one's 50, this one's 60.
I hope it doesn't fly because I live up in Canada and I've been paying already $70 plus tax and everything.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so for you,
it's
it's
$90.
Canadian $90
for a game. It's $90 for any game, and just as it is now. So it's crazy to think about. We have these like $500 consoles, and I'd be like, yeah, I bought like 4 games, and I basically could have just bought another PlayStation. It's just for me it's crazy to think about, and I hope it doesn't stick, or they do this thing where I would be okay if they did the really, really big games being full price, and then kind of like what they did for like the Crash remasterings where they were like $10-20 less. Like
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. All right, if
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the price of video games, then let's talk about this, man, because they're increasing the price of video games, but what am I getting in return for? Like, are you gonna remove all this predatory bullshit that's in my games now? Am I like, are we gonna have this? Am I gonna have to pay for like the the DLC that you're gonna release like 2 months down the road, or am I have to pay for like loot boxes, or is it gonna have in-game currency that I can buy, or like all this other garbage that like the $60 games have already? If you're gonna charge me another $10, I don't want to play Marvel's Avengers and have to buy skins and currencies and all this shit. Like, if you're gonna charge, I'll pay $10 extra if you just give me a video game and nothing more. Like,
not just
that's all I
that,
want.
but like, what I think they should do if they're gonna charge $70 for these games, they should at least make the digital version like $60. Like, give me the incentive.
Yeah,
because spoiler alert, these companies make a lot more money if you buy digital, like a lot more money.
Oh yeah. There's no costs. They don't have to produce anything.
Exactly. So the fact that a digital game doesn't cost less to make up for it kind of pisses me off.
Yeah,
like,
and I think
they really want this discless model to take off and still like quell the people's anger about the price hike. Make the digital version like last gen prices, and I think that would kind of balance things out. But they're never going to do that because they like money. So
yeah, I mean, again, even with the surprise of the discless PS5 being cheaper by $100, that was crazy. But I think in general, the whole industry as a whole, if we were to say that less like microtransactions are great, DLCs not coming out like a week or two later, being like, oh, here's a whole bunch of extra stuff. You're like, but why isn't this in like, I just bought this game. Why are you giving me, why are you already giving me extra content when I don't even have the original content? I think that's an issue that needs to change. And I'm okay with paying a little bit more if that just means like just even waiting a bit, like, if you pause it on like a month or two, it's like, that's fine. I'll pay for it if you add more
even
game,
even how games are just like broken AF, man.
Yeah.
And they just come out and you're like, dude, this doesn't work. I paid $60 for this broken ass game. Like shit like that. Like that stuff has to stop. I would gladly pay another $10 if we just give me a good video game. Actually, I fully expect Microsoft. They've been dunking so hard past couple weeks, man. I feel them just another dunk they can do is just be like, hey, $60. We're not raising the price. And that would just be like, you win, Xbox, you win. At least for their games. I feel like maybe they don't have a say in the price of like EA games, but they can be like, yeah, our first party games, $60. We're not raising the price. And Game Pass. So it's not like it matters anyway. But
too true.
Yeah. So yeah, PS5 stuff, it's exciting, but yeah, I just want to see I want to see where that goes. Definitely not buying it day one. And I don't recommend anyone buys either console on day one. I mean, at least with Xbox you get a little bit more. I'm going to say if you did buy any of these on day one, get the Xbox Series S, the cheap one. That one has my vote. I mean, I'm a PC guy, so
yeah.
The only thing that catches my eye right now for PlayStation is God of War. And that's not going to be there at launch.
Yeah.
No, but they had to announce it. I mean, it just, again, it's one of those like those like tickling titles. You hear them and you're like, what? What'd you say?
That's definitely a system seller, even if it's not coming out day one. Like,
no,
I can see like purchases of PS5 spiking once that game drops.
It was the same with what Bethesda did with Elder Scrolls. Like they literally just announced like here's the title and here's like a nice shot of mountains. It's like not anything to do with the game, but it was announced and it
came to like bite them in the ass because everyone they will not get stopped. No one stops asking them, when's Elder Scrolls 6, guys? When's it coming out? When's it coming out? And it's like, do you understand we're making a full game before we even start thinking about that game?
Yeah.
Like people are crazy. But yeah.
People love to love, I think is it, passionate gamers.
Sometimes that love hurts, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes
exactly.
that love hurts. In other news, Amazon announced its cloud gaming service, Luna.
Yes.
It's coming out for PC, Mac, Fire TV, and iOS. Was not expecting the iOS. Good for them for
Well,
getting that.
here's how they're doing iOS. Actually, it's
Oh yeah.
because you know how XCloud and shit like that they can't get on iOS because of the terms that Apple has.
Which is bullshit. Because like, side tangent. Apple's argument is that those are all individual games that we can't like rate on our iTunes system. But they have no problem having Netflix on there with a bunch of movies they can't fucking rate. But whatever.
Yeah. Amazon's actually getting around that by not. The Luna is not going to actually be an app. It's going to be a web page that you go to. So when you hit the icon, it just launches the browser, and you play through the browser. So
that sounds less stable, but if it gets around it, it gets around it.
Yeah, yeah. If it works, it works, I guess. But
yeah.
Is it only going to be stuck to like Safari? Is that what's going to happen? It's just going to open Safari even if you don't have it.
Well, I think it's going to open up whatever your default web browser is.
Yeah. But yeah, they announced this. It's their version of Stadia, which people are kind of throwing around like it's like exactly what Stadia is. But the difference between this and Stadia is that Stadia, you have to buy the game still. Like, not only do you have to subscribe to Stadia, but you also have to buy the game still. Whereas this is just a subscription and you get those games. And they're doing
continue.
They're doing like a channels thing. So I don't know if you ever like subscribe to Prime Video, but Prime Video has channels where like you subscribe to Prime Video and then you can also subscribe to the HBO channel and the Showtime channel. That's what they're doing with this as well, where they have the Luna Plus channel, which is their just standard library. But then the only one they announced was the Ubisoft channel, which is coming soon. No date or price on that. But we'll have additional channels for different publishers, I guess. So if you want Ubisoft stuff, you can subscribe just to Ubisoft or EA or whatever.
Yeah.
So their early access pricing is $6 a month, which is good price. Who knows what that's going to be after early access, but it's a decent price. You know, I can't complain about that. And you know, the games library looks solid, like Control's in there, great game, Bloodstain.
Good game.
Yeah.
Wouldn't call Bloodstain a great game, but it's definitely a good game. Another thing that they're doing is they're pushing 1080p 60 FPS, which I think is good because Stadia tried to push 4K and that didn't fucking work.
No.
That was a huge complaint, is that once you like 1080p 60 was kind of working, but the consensus was once you tried doing 4K that the whole thing just took a shit. So it's cool that Luna's like, hey, listen, we're going to focus on 1080p 60, but it's going to be a stable, working 1080p 60. We're not going to half-ass that in 4K. We're just going to focus on 1080.
Yeah. As long as you have the connection to support it, that's always the crutch with these like streaming services, is like America doesn't really have the infrastructure to support this kind of streaming, bandwidth limits and caps, and you know, it's just not we're not in an ideal place. Even though with Google doing it, Microsoft doing it, we're still not set up to fully take advantage of this. So some people are, and, you know, it's kind of getting there, but I feel like it's still a minority for most people.
Yeah. So I'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I'll have to wait and see what happens with it. One thing I think is really cool is that Twitch integration's like built into it. So you can literally, I could be like watching Xero on Twitch playing like Bloodstained. It'd be like, oh, I want to play Bloodstained now. Push a button and then I'm playing it.
Yeah.
Like,
which is cool.
really
I mean,
cool.
That's what Stadia does with YouTube. Well, that's what they say they do. I've never actually seen that happen on YouTube, but that's what they say it does. So,
I thought Stadia was a myth for the longest time. I didn't know it was still around. You know? I remember all about it, and I had a friend who was really jazzed about it, and he's like, "Yeah, but you can do it anywhere." I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a thing that works. Like, I'm my YouTube videos buffer, so I don't know about playing games.
Yeah, you were 100% right. It didn't work.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy that it's a great idea, and I hope that Luna surpasses all expectations. And as you were saying, it's good that they're starting off at a good base of like.
For all the shit that Stadia gets, the general consensus I hear from people is that it works better than xCloud.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just what I hear about it.
All the shit talking aside, like, it would have been a fucking game changer.
Oh, yeah.
If it worked perfectly. So hopefully Luna can do that, especially since, like, everything's built into the Luna controller.
Mm-hmm.
So you never have to sync to any devices. It connects directly to the cloud gaming service itself. So there's almost no latency when you're operating it.
Yeah. Hamtaro asked how much. So the only thing you have to buy is the controller. Mm-hmm. And the controller is $50 during early access. But once early access is over, it's going to be $70. And then there's the subscription, which is $5.99 in early access.
Mm-hmm. So that's not bad at all.
So I'll have to wait and see what happens with it. I'm not the kind of person who hopes something goes wrong. I really do hope that they nail this because this would be a game changer.
Yeah, especially since it opens up video games for people who might not want to pay for a console or doesn't have a PC. Yeah. Like you can play. Like Control is one of the best games of last year, and
I agree.
If more people can experience that for easier, then I'm all for it.
Dude, me too. Another thing, Nintendo Direct, the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase.
This is all you. All you.
How did I know? So Monster Hunter Rise just got announced. God damn it. I am so excited, man. Oh, fuck. I am stoked for this game. They've introduced some really cool mechanics, man. It has this Japanese look to it, which I don't think they've done since like Monster Hunter Freedom 2. I think was the last time they had something like that. It has all kinds of crazy features now. The Palamut is my favorite one. That dog you see running there. Instead of just sticking with the Palicos, the cats, you can switch between the cats and the dogs. And the dogs have the advantage of being more attack focused and less support focused. And they let you ride on them to get around faster. That's not the only change they did, though. They added this new feature called the Wire Bug that lets you basically like Spider-Man around everywhere, which is really, really cool to see. Like you kind of see him doing it right now where he's like jumping around and like slinging himself everywhere from thin air.
Have they done that before? Because it looks familiar.
So they had a zip claw.
Okay.
But the it was like a grapple claw, but that grapple claw only worked on specific highlighted locations. And it was a way to traverse like maybe up a mountain faster than climbing it, or to swing around and get the drop on a monster. But it looks like now it can just connect to thin air. Oh. I don't know how it works, but it looks awesome. Another cool thing, just watching the combat, I noticed there's a lot of new combat changes. There's a part where this person like wire claw, like they use the zip bug to get over a monster. They drop a bomb on it. That looked really cool. I was wondering what that was about. If they added more options for combat, not just when you're with your weapon, but also with your items, like you can drop bombs from the air. That'd be cool. What else do they do? You also could take your Palamut or your Palico, the cat, into a match with you. So in earlier Monster Hunter games, the Palicos, your little followers, were just there to back you up if you didn't have actual hunters with you. But now it lets you take in one of your two followers into a multiplayer game with you. So every player can now have either a Palamut or a Palico with them, which is really cool to see. So now it's more tied to the gameplay. It's not just a substitute having a real player. It's actually tied into the gameplay and how you play, not just by yourself, but with other hunters. There's another cool thing that they announced some amiibos are coming out for them with exclusive costumes. Just oh my god, dude, it looks so good.
I can't
On top
believe
of that,
Amiibo is still a thing.
I dig it, dude. I dig it.
yeah.
I'm a sucker for those little guys. You kidding me? Especially Monster Hunter amiibos. Get the fuck out of here. I'm buying that.
Give me a Rathlos. Give me a Rathlos amiibo, just a giant
dude.
one.
Are you a Monster Hunter dude, Zero?
I'm not diehard Monster Hunter. I like the series, and honestly, looking at this, it's like I'm really hyped for it. Like just
dude, same.
the movement for it, like you're smoothing so clean. And there's a point in this trailer when he's like facing like one of the turtle monsters, and he zip bugs as if he was gonna go over him. He stalls, backs up, and then does a drop hit on him. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like they're getting crazy with the moves because Monster Hunter is notorious for having like a bit of like a slower, heavier combat style.
Yeah.
Like you're feeling each of the punches. So to add a bit of this movement but still have that, like I'm all for it. It looks dope.
Dude. Especially since like to have this kind of verticality, we haven't seen that since Monster Hunter 4. No, Monster Hunter 3. And there's a caveat to that. Monster Hunter 3 had a swimming mechanic.
Yeah.
So you could fight against monsters underwater. So you can attack them from the top, from below. It was a cool idea. I like that verticality, being able to hit a monster from anywhere, not just face to face.
Yeah.
But the swimming sucked. Nobody liked it. But people like the idea of it. And this looks like a good middle ground to that because you can zip around whenever you want. Looks like you're kind of limited. I assume you can't just zip around forever.
No.
I'm sure there's a cooldown to it. So it's really cool to see that there's this whole other dimension to playing it. Monster Hunter is one of those games where the mechanics are work so well with each other. When they introduce a new mechanic, it's a game changer. It totally changes how you're going to play the game. And I'm really excited to see this, man. Like I really want to see it. I want this game to come out. It's coming out March 21st, I believe. Pre-orders are up now. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I probably should, but I feel bad when I pre-order games.
26th, by the way.
26th.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not going to regret pre-ordering this game. God damn it, I just want it. And the best part is it's running on the RE engine, which is the same engine Resident Evil 7 ran on, Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, which is crazy to see that this is coming out on the Switch.
Yeah.
So I want to see how this engine performs on a lower powered console, but based on the gameplay, pretty well.
Did they say it's Switch exclusive?
It is a Switch exclusive for now. Okay. I don't know if they do plan on releasing on PS4, but based on the way the game looks, it looks like it was built for the Switch. So I don't know how it's going to be coming out on other systems. But dude, I'm into it. Like I love me some Monster Hunter. It's cool to see that. We're also getting Monster Hunter Stories 2, which I don't really care about. I like the core Monster Hunter games. Monster Hunter Stories were kind of like side spin-offs. Think of it like Monster Hunter meets Pokemon.
Gross.
And you'll get an idea of it. It's an interesting idea. I like the fact of taming monsters, fighting with them, but I'd rather see that in a mainline game. That would be really cool. Like a baby Rathalos flying around.
Yeah.
That's just something that's not my element, dude. I'm not a Monster Hunter Stories fan. I know a lot of people like it. I'm not one of those people. If you're excited for it, fantastic. Looks like they're adding a lot of cool new features that weren't available in the last game. And plus getting that jump going from a 3DS to a Switch, there's a huge graphical leap. There's a huge gameplay controllability leap there too. So it's really cool to see that, but I'm not that demographic.
Yeah, so I think it's more. It looks more like I wouldn't say like a casual introduction to like the world of Monster Hunter, but it's like definitely a softer tone to it. It looks honestly, it looked like I thought it was like a spring anime when I first saw it. I was like, damn, this is a cool show, and I'm like, oh no, it's a game.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be like more of a softball into it, which is great. And more people in Monster Hunter, awesome for it.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is one of those games. Like I know a lot of people. So there's a lot of diehard Monster Hunter fans that because Monster Hunter is such a niche series, it was okay to have this like diehard, like superior attitude to it. But now that it's getting broader, I see a lot of those people coming out of the woodwork like, this isn't what Monster Hunter used to be. Like, fuck you. Like the game's more popular now. It's better now.
I played Monster Hunter on the PSP and we only had one analog stick.
Exactly. And like, if you did that, good for you, man. That's great for you. But how about instead of being an elitist asshole, you try to get more people into the game so it sells well, so we can get more of them.
Yeah. Hey, try telling that to the Dark Souls community.
I know. It's so frustrating. Like I'm on some Monster Hunter groups on Reddit and on Facebook, and it's so toxic. I hate it. I don't know why I'm still on it, to be honest. Just people are mean, man. If you like this game so much, like, why are you being so like gatekeepy about it? Just fucking let people play the game. Teach them how to play. If you don't like the way someone plays, give them some tips. Don't be an asshole.
Well, and that's the rub of it, you know. It's like, hey, why aren't you doing what I'm doing? Like, why aren't you just really amazing at this thing that I've practiced hard in, and I've done it for many hours, and you're just starting? Like, what's the deal, man? What's up? And you're just
exactly. And it's
not a good mentality for any community, I find. I think
exactly.
You know, if you want people to play it and you just want to have people have fun, it's just like, oh shit, you don't know how to do like the bomb stack? All right, here, I'll teach you it. Or like, oh, like, go check this out, you'll have fun. Or just leave it be. You know, don't always have to correct people.
Exactly. And I'm hoping now the game's getting more popular, we can start to see some of that toxicity kind of bleed out, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too, dude. I'm definitely buying Monster Hunter Rise day one. This might be like the game I start streaming, man. Like, I love Monster Hunter. I love me some Monster Hunter. I can talk and play about Monster Hunter all day, dude. So this might be it.
Perfect.
You know, we also had some other Nintendo stuff. Whatever. Joking aside, though, we did have Fitness Boxing 2 got announced, like a rhythm exercise game. Looks cool. I mean, I'm not a fan of those like exercise games on Switch. My wife would definitely love that because she's so super into that shit. So I might pick that up for her. But one thing I want to talk about, did you see the trailer to Disgaea 6?
Yes.
It is fucking nuts, dude. Like, there's dropping so many buzzwords. It defies RPG conventions.
The first 3D Disgaea game took them 20 years, but they're modern now.
Wait, you can make games 3D? Oh shit, guys, we've been doing it wrong. Let's get this in here.
There's just line he drops where he's like, what do you say? What did he say? Hold on. Like, these are the max levels, like 9999999.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, the max damage like 9 trillion.
Oof.
That's what I always like about these games, is that they didn't give a fuck about the numbers. You can just do 1 trillion damage and the enemy will still be alive. Like, how much health do you have?
And the trailer's super self-aware. Like, it knows this is kind of dumb, but like that's the appeal.
Yeah.
That's good. Like, I've never played Disgaea, man. I'll be honest. I've never played Disgaea.
Really?
But but I've always liked how self-aware they are, and they're like, we know we're kind of silly, but that's like the appeal. And I kind of want to check that out now.
Yeah,
I heard Disgaea 5 was good.
This was always the only like strategy RPG series that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It looks really cool. I want to play as the Penguin.
Yeah, you can play as the Penguin. You can play as the Penguin actually has its own spin-off game called Prinny, I Want to Be the Hero, which is one of those like hard as fuck platformer games. I never got past the first level. It's like one of those games.
I heard it's fun, but
it's fun.
Ah, that makes so much sense, because I when I was watching the trailer for Dissidia 6, it was I was like, the Penguin looks so familiar. I feel like I've seen at least like the image of it somewhere. Yeah, and I think it was this. I think it was from this.
Yeah, the Prinny is like tied deep to Disgaea. Like the Prinny is to Disgaea like what Chocobo are to like Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like what Slime are to Dragon Quest. It looks cool. Like I've never played Disgaea, and this kind of makes me want to go and play Disgaea 5 because I heard that one's the best so far. And it looks just absolutely batshit crazy, and I'm into that. I like games that don't take themselves too seriously, man.
Oh yeah.
That's coming out summer of next year. We also got a pre-order trailer for Empire of Sin, which is some like 1930s prohibition noir strategy game.
Yeah, I think
Like,
I've seen this before as well. Someone showed this before. I've seen this somewhere,
yeah, I've seen
but
it somewhere too, but I might just be thinking of like those generic criminal games that came out on
yeah,
Facebook for like the early
that's what this looks like.
2010s. But this actually looks like it has some strategy elements to it, like XCOM, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested, man. I'm curious about it, and I don't have to go pre-order it, but I kind of want to see where this goes.
Yeah.
I'm watching with heightened interest for this game.
They always find it funny that you can have a pre-order trailer but not tell people when the game is coming out.
Yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't you enjoy it when you're like, hey, you can buy this game? You're like, well, what's the game about? You're like, don't worry about it.
Well, when's the game coming out? What did I just tell you, man? Don't worry about it. Just give me your money.
Yo, check out this logo though, isn't it dope? Like, come on. You
That's a
sure?
dope
Come
logo.
on, you could drop some $40 to $57. Come on, it's all good. It's all good.
Another thing that surprised me, we got Sniper Elite 4 coming out on Switch.
Hell yeah!
Which is impressive that that's coming out on Switch. I mean, I'm indifferent to the Sniper Elite games, but the fact that this is running on Switch is impressive. I'm surprised this is able to run on the Switch, if I'm being honest.
Actually, I was gonna make a mention of that because during that Empire of Sin trailer, they showed all the worst things they could possibly show on. Look, if you're gonna show your game running, especially on the Switch, don't show it like at 12 frames a second. Like, that's one thing that this Sniper Elite trailer doesn't do, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't run, perfectly smoothly, but at least you can't tell in the trailer. There's been numerous Switch trailers where they've shown it running terribly, and I'm like, who are you selling this to? When I see this, I'm like, oh god, look how bad it runs in your trailer. So just a little advice for you Switch marketers out there. Don't show your trailer running like ass.
There you go. If the trailer came from Wasabi himself, you want to sell your game, you gotta lie.
Yeah,
lie about it. I'm sure Sniper Elite's lying about it. I'm sure that game doesn't run as smooth as they're showing.
Yeah, do the classic. Oh yeah, this is totally live footage that you're looking at. Yeah, don't worry about it. Does it look scripted? No, of course not.
I mean, they don't have to lie about it, but just edit around the 12 frames. Like Empire of Sin does not look like a demanding game, but when you look at that trailer, it's like, why is it running at 12 frames a second?
You just know what you do when you have a bad game and you want to market it well, just put an old like AC/DC song on it and just have it just bump it. People be like, oh yeah, but what was the game about? I forget.
I don't know, but that soundtrack
like
rips.
TNT would fit this trailer. It'd be like TNT. Just like people be like, yeah. Doesn't make sense, but yeah.
Speaking of soundtrack, Long Dark got another trailer for the Switch. And I don't know what song they're playing during that trailer, but it's dope, dude. I was digging it.
Yeah.
This game came out, like what, 6 years ago, 5 years ago?
I don't know if it's been in early access on PC for a long time.
Yeah.
I think it only came out of early access like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
And like, it was. Here's the problem with the game. It came out when survival games were like the game,
Yeah.
Like survival games were then what battle royale games are now. So it looks kind of dated in that aspect. But also, like, it's kind of refreshing to see a survival game because we don't get those anymore.
Especially on Switch. I don't know if there's any on Switch.
I think Don't Starve, and like that's it.
Oh yeah, but Don't Starve is not. That's like
Firewatch on Switch.
And technically Minecraft. Technically.
Firewatch is actually Firewatch is not a survival game. That is a like one of those like a Telltale games. It's a walking sim.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which I don't like that term walking sim because I feel like they kind of discredit the game a little bit.
It's a narrative based narrative based adventure game.
I had a conversation with someone about that. They said calling those games walking sims are like calling shooters like point and wins. Like
Yeah.
it does a disservice to the game and it makes you not want to play it. But for lack of a better description, I mean walking sim is
That's the term people
best way to
know.
describe
Like
it.
if I had to explain what Bloodstained is, I would say Metroidvania because I know they
Even though
know
we-
that term.
Even though we tied a long conversation about this, we both fucking hate the term Metroidvania.
Yeah. Because if you don't know what Metroid is and you don't know what Castlevania is, or if you just don't know that term, then you don't know what that means at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like, I
Long
don't
Dark,
like comparing
sorry.
games to using other games to describe games. Like
Yeah.
it's a Souls like okay, well if you don't know what Souls is, then you don't know what that is.
It's that's a term I could do without for a long time.
Yeah.
I think I hate everyone always just being like, oh man, this is the souls of the golfing industry. It's like I just come on, man, you don't need to. You don't need to go there. I don't need to know this is a hard golfing game. Like it's just use different acronyms or different words.
When you die, you lose all your clubs.
It's just there's
real talk. If someone like as a joke released a Souls-like golfing game, I'd check it out.
I mean, there's There's a new golfing RPG game.
Oh, there is a golfing RPG game.
Yeah. I think they're making a new one as well. They're making a sequel to it. Yeah, an RPG about golfing. Like it's wild. It's wild.
All right,
But yeah,
I want to check that out.
Yeah, I have to check it out too. Golf Story, I think is what it's called, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. I think it's called Golf Story.
Speaking of golf games, we got a PGA Tour 2K21 coming out on Switch with a physical version dropping September 25th. So that's out yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you absolutely need to play the new PGA Tour, there you go.
Sports.
Now on to good games. We have Hades is now available on Switch, which is cool to see, man. Like Hades
I need to
looks
play
dope.
this. Yeah.
Me too, man. Me too.
I just been catching up on my backlog but I'm sure this is gonna be up there for me for like one of the games of the year.
Dude, same. Like Supergiant is just one of those developers that release solid games. Like I don't think they've released anything that was bad.
Well, people didn't like Pyre. People didn't really like that one.
Well, because people went into Pyre thinking it was more Bastion when it was like a sports game.
Yeah.
Not even really a sports game. It's like a competitive, like I don't know how to describe it. It is an action game, but it has a sports element to it that people didn't like because gamers don't like sports games.
What?
For good reason. I mean,
you don't like pretending to play sports? Isn't that fun?
I don't even like watching sports.
It's for me, I enjoy playing a sport, but watching a sport, it's like, oh, that man is better than me. Okay.
Yeah, but the sport in that game had
I like watching baseball. I'll take that back. I like watching baseball, but like only at a game. I can't do that shit on TV.
Fair enough.
Well, in Pyre, the sport in that game actually had like a narrative to it where the loot that you had to fight, and whoever lost got like banished or like got like there were repercussions to losing, so it made you like actually feel bad for the losing team, but also not wanting to lose yourself because you know you wanted to not lose. Like it was like a competition where there were serious repercussions to losing. So I think that was one of the big narrative things in that game.
Okay. And I've never really dabbled in these series, but when I was looking at Hades, I really want to try it out because I'm also a big Greek mythology person. So like I know it might not be like traditional Greek mythology, but like I love that idea of it, and there's so much you can pull from both on like a game side and like a lore side. Like it's super cool.
Yeah.
So I'd be down to try this. Looks fun.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I really want to play it. It's been early access on Epic for the past like year. So it's cool to see it coming out and everything else. I mean, it's a Supergiant game. You can't go wrong with them. I refuse to admit they've released a bad game since they started with Bastion. What else have we got? It's out now, so if you want to go pick it up, you can pick it up today on Switch. We also got another game, which I know nothing about, Balan Wonderland.
Yeah. They keep
yes.
showing this, and I'm like, this looks like a fake video game.
The
This
new
looks like
Sega baby.
it looks like a game that a kid would be playing in a television show. When they can't play a real game, they put this on the screen. That's what it looks like.
It definitely got those vibes. I mean, from what I understand, I think it's from the creators who made Dreams, Into Dreams. It was the old Sega title.
Yeah.
And basically it was like a flying simulator with like, collecting rings and stuff. It was a very simple stuff, but it was a big Sega staple.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to like bring back some of that weirdness for sure, and that cartooniness.
Yeah, which I can dig, man. Like I think games are at their best when they're weird.
Oh, 100%.
So it's cool to see that. It looks interesting, but that's as much as I can say about it, that it's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's just gonna be a fun platformer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at a fun, non-offensive platformer.
It's a genre that's not totally saturated. So
yeah,
I like 3D platformers.
Me too. I want to see more of them, and this one looks like it might scratch that itch. We also got Rune Factory 5, which I know I say I'm a huge JRPG fan, but I've never played a Rune Factory game.
I didn't know there was 5 of them.
I think there's more than 5, but
yeah. But I've been told they're pretty good. They're solid. Like, are these the ones that are about like alchemy, or am I thinking of another like obscure JRPG franchise?
I think that's Atelier.
Yes, you're right. You're
also
right.
has a new game coming out.
Yeah, Rune Factory is like the Harvest Moon JRPG type game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I was watching it. I was like, is this like a Harvest Moon kind of? It reminded me so much of it. But then they were also fighting like sheep in the woods, and I was like, I don't remember that.
I mean, it looks interesting, but I haven't played any of these games. And now there's a 5th one. I mean, I don't know if it's enough to like let me go try it. Maybe if it's on sale, I might pick it up and give it a shot, just to say I tried it. But nothing that's really gonna get me to go pick it up day one. In other news, we have Ori and Will of the Wisps came out on Switch, which you liked a lot. You love that game.
This is probably my current game of the year.
So. Again, the same year that Doom Eternal came out, you're gonna say Ori.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
We're gonna fight about this later. They're gonna fight. This is gonna be a fight later.
Well, did you play it though? Did you play it?
I did not.
There's a problem.
It's on Game Pass though, so I have no excuse not to. I should go try it. It looks good. I like these Metroidvanias, so
it's great, and it's a great one of them too. It doesn't fall into like the tropes that you would expect from a Metroidvania. I mean, some of it does, but they hide it very well. Like, like you walk into a door and it's like, oh, I can't open this door yet. I probably have to come back, and like they'll let you go. They'll let you go down a road that you might not be able to go down yet. But they hide it super well. And like the visuals and the soundtrack, and they do a lot with so little. And like it's a sequel to a game where the sequel is better in every way. Every single way imaginable is better than that original game. And that first game was no slouch. I mean, that was also one of my favorite games of that year that game came out. So it's just you don't see it often when a sequel is just better. Yeah.
I mean, have you seen Attack of the Clones? I mean, come on. for a good sequel. It's out there.
That's it for the Nintendo Direct. And some Quickie news. Among Us 2 got canceled, and they announced the features are going to be brought into Among Us 1. Side question: am I the only one who hasn't played Among Us? Because I feel like I am.
No, I haven't either. I've watched a lot of people play it, but haven't delved in myself.
What people don't know, though, is that Among Us came out like 4 years ago. It just didn't get popular until recently.
Super old game.
Yeah, it's super old.
And that's why they're canceling the second game, because they were working on the second game for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then the first game blew up out of nowhere, and they were like, "Oh no, what do we do?" So yeah, they're canceling that game, and they're putting its features into the first game, which I think is more difficult than just finishing the second game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I can't imagine having to start that shit over again.
Well,
yeah,
and they have to. I think their biggest thing that they were talking about is that they have to go in and fix some of like the broken code, because again, it's a game that came out a long time ago, and now people are pointing out all these little details. And if they're gonna fix it, they're kind of gonna have to rewrite everything. So it's gonna be a lot more work. But I think in the long run, it's a lot better because people know Among Us 1, and they're here for it. They're loving it. People are playing it. I think if they made a sequel, I don't think a lot of people would really jump to it. But if you improved what's already popular, I think it's going to go a lot further, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what they do with it. But I mean, the game's only $5. I have no excuse not to at least try it. And from what I've been told, it's getting a lot of attention. So I might just check it out, man. Just bite the bullet.
It's $5 on Steam, but it's actually free on mobile.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, okay, then I'll go try that then. No Man's Skies Origins update got announced. Which, if we can talk about No Man's Sky really quick, that game, despite all the negative attention it got when it came out, they're putting in a lot of work to turn that attention around, man. Like, good on them.
It's great.
Yeah, good on
Fantastic.
them. Like for turning it around.
I love now. In my opinion, the game's still not where it needs to be in terms of just, just sheer amount of content. Not so much what they promised, but just in terms of what's actually in the game, like what there is to do in the game. Like, I'm not the kind of guy that just goes to explore for exploration's sake. Like, if I'm going to delve into a cave, I want to know if there's something in that cave that I'm going to find. Yeah. Or if I go, like, diving underground, I want to know if there's something under there. Like, I just want to, if I'm going to explore, I want to explore knowing that there's something at the end of the tunnel. And I don't think it still doesn't do that. Like, they still just want you to explore just to find shit or just to get resources or stuff like that. And yeah, I've never been about that personally. Yeah. But it is a great game for that. If like that's what you're looking for, it's phenomenal for that. So not shitting on the game. It's just there's stuff that I want out of it that still doesn't deliver on. So
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, that's totally fair. In other news, Left 4 Dead 2 is getting a new update, a new campaign called Last Stand.
Yeah, we're actually we're gonna play this at some point. We're gonna play this, but
yeah, I'm down. I'll fucking hop in too. It's been a minute since I played Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. New
crazy.
significant update. I don't know much about it. It's like actually it's on free weekend right now. So if anyone wants to play it, it's free to play for the weekend. I think if you want to buy it, it's even discounted. So
which at this point, if you have Steam and not Left 4 Dead 2, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It should be bundled together. I think you make an account and they're like, here's your game. And you're like, oh, I didn't even play. Yeah. They're like, here you go.
Would that be the one if Valve gave away one free Valve game?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be the one? Not like Portal?
I would say like Half-Life or Portal.
Yeah. I think if they're looking for more like single player stuff, I think Portal or Half-Life. If they decided to do like one multiplayer, I think it'd be like a Left 4 Dead for sure.
I want to retract. I think Left 4 Dead's a better choice because Left 4 Dead shows off more Steam features with the Steam Workshop, the modability, the multiplayer components.
Yeah.
I think like Left 4 Dead's like a perfect example of like what Steam has to offer.
Yeah.
I agree.
And again, at this point, if you don't have Left 4 Dead 2, but you have Steam, like go pick it up. It's not expensive. It's not an expensive game. The Last Stand update is free. It was apparently a community update that Valve greenlit to be an official add-on for the game.
Really?
Yeah, so that's really cool to see. It's getting an update now where it's fixing some materials and models that were causing some errors in the workshop. They adjusted weapon spawn chances, safe room intros were apparently bugged when it came out, and now it's been tweaked to work a little bit better. Because the Last Stand came out like back on September 17th, I think, and they're updating it again now, September 26th, to get some fixes here. So it's cool to see that, a fan mod essentially is getting a canon add-on to the game by Valve. It's really cool to see them doing that.
Yeah. You should see how many like Half-Life and Portal spin-offs there are that Valve seems totally fine with.
Yeah, like Hunt Down the Freeman was fucking dog shit, but they still let it release. Side note, funny story, I almost bought that game, dude. Did I tell you that story?
No.
So when I saw Hunt Down the Freeman, I was like, wait, is that a new Half-Life game?
Oh.
And I saw the trailer, and I saw like half the trailer, and I was like, oh my god, it is a new Half-Life game. What the fuck? And I added it to my cart, and I was about to buy it, but then something in my head was like, hey, go read the reviews first, just in case. And I did, and I was like, oh, it's dog shit. Good thing I didn't buy it. But legit, dude, it was in my cart. I was about to pay for it, and then I realized like it would have been a bad idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. So
Yeah. We also have a little article, or from AMD GU Open, talking about porting Detroit Become Human from PS4 to PC.
yeah, I thought this was I thought this was an interesting read because usually you don't hear this, you don't get this story, like at all ever.
No,
so
ever.
It was interesting to see what the difficulties are in porting a PS4 game to PC. Like,
not just any PS4 game, but a PS4 game like Detroit Become Human that was built for the PS4.
Yeah.
So I read through some of it when you sent me the notes, and I'm like, fuck. Like the next time someone asks, like, why no PC port though? Like, just send them this article.
Yeah.
It's not easy as a copy and paste.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking nightmare. I can't imagine being on this team and getting it going.
Oh yeah. It's I mean I did a bit of game developing, level designing way back in the day, and there's so many tiny details that go into it, and when you try to do a system transfer like from a console base to a PC base, it's if you don't have that in mind or have like an open software system for it, because that's the other thing. A lot of these things are built on certain engines that aren't compatible with a lot of PC relatives, so you have to compensate in different ways. And people just don't think about that because you think like, oh, like the game's on a disc. Why can't you just put the disc in the PC and just have it read that? You know, like people think it's that easy.
Or I think the mentality is, well, my PC is like 5 times the teraflops on my PC are like 5 times more than PS4, so I should be able to run this no problem. And
then, my PC flops, okay? My PC hella flops. This should be easy.
It was interesting to read this after seeing what happened with Horizon Zero Dawn, because that game came out on PC and it was like a mess. And
was it really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it got like review bombed on Steam because it was a bad port. But we don't really know what goes into porting those kinds of games. So it was interesting to read this and see exactly what. There's 3 parts to this thing. This is only the first part I linked here, but they get in depth on this.
Yeah. So if you ever if you just want to know what goes into it, or if you're pursuing like game design as a career, like I'll probably find this super interesting. I found it interesting.
Yeah.
And some trailers we got. Cyberpunk 2077 got 2 new trailers: The Gangs of Night City and Postcards from Night City, which we talked about this before. Like, Cyberpunk is the kind of game that I get more and more hyped like every trailer they drop.
I don't watch any of them, so
I try not to, but we have to for the show, and like
I don't have to. I put it in there and not watch it. And then...
But goddamn, dude, I am so excited for Cyberpunk. And not just that either, but about a week or two ago, they just released the official specs for Cyberpunk on PC.
Yeah, which
and
okay,
my
so I looked
PC
at
barely, my PC like barely like matches the recommended specs.
Yeah, but here's the thing though,
Yeah.
they don't tell you the target like resolution or
Nope.
frame rate with those specs. So I mean, for all we know, that could be like, hey, you want to run the game at 800 by 600? Here's the specs. And it's like, well, no, I'm running 4K. Like, what do I need? Like, we just don't know with it. So they said they're going to come out and like get more specific soon. So that's what I want to see.
Yeah. That's what I want to see too, because I'm like worried. I'm like, I don't want to have to upgrade my computer, but if I do, I will for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I really, really want to play Cyberpunk. I'm so into it, dude.
I've also been avoiding as much as I can. I've learned a hard lesson from being spoiled from like just too many trailers in the past, where I think when something gets announced, I'm like, cool, like this looks, I'm on either side. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna try it when it comes out, or like, someone needs to play like 20 minutes of it and I'll get into it or something.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's gonna be amazing.
There's games that I already know I'm going to buy no matter what. Like, it could be a broken mess, but I know just from the name on it that I'm going to buy. Like, anything Kojima. I'm the biggest Kojima fanboy on the planet.
Yeah.
I will buy anything Kojima makes. Not that I'm going to like
I know,
it.
I know. For you, I know that list is going to be anything Kojima makes. Beyond
Zelda,
Good and Evil 2.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Zelda.
Like anything with those in it, or anything that's even like remotely attached, like, oh, it's like a Zelda style game. I'm like, oh, you said Zelda style? Okay, wish list, cart.
It's like that with me and Monster Hunter. I'll buy like every mainline Monster Hunter day one. I don't think about it. I just do it.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk looks so good. I can't wait for it, dude. Like every time I see it, I get more and more excited.
Almost
it's coming out October, right? The end of October?
Yeah, I think so. Unless they delay it again, which they're not going to. I don't think they will.
No, maybe not. Because this would be the third delay if they do, I believe.
We got another trailer for The Medium, which I never heard about until this trailer.
What? Really?
Yes.
They've been showing it heavy. They've been showing it heavy on Xbox. So if you're not been paying attention to the Xbox stuff, maybe you've never seen it, but it's from the guys that made Layers of Fear.
Oh, yeah. I think you were talking about this about a week or two ago.
Yeah, it does this thing where it's like it goes back and forth between worlds instantaneously. So like you can be in the dark world, and then I guess you hit a button and you're in the not as dark world, because both worlds seem pretty dark. But
the sad world and the slightly less sad world.
I mean, there's the real world, and then there's like this shitty, like darker alternative.
Yeah.
It looks like. I'm into it, dude. I like it. It looks cool. It looks interesting. Probably not a day one buy for me, but I'll definitely watch it with interest.
Yeah.
If you're like skeptical at all about, I'm not a horror game kind of guy, but Layers of Fear is like one of two that like genuinely scared me. The other one being PT, which is not even a game, but that had genuinely the most terrifying thing I've ever played in my life. And Layers of Fear was the only other game that came close to me. So that's why I'm kind of excited for this.
It makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It makes you uncomfortable to play through it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see what they do with this. They have like a similar feel. I'm down. We also got a trailer for Elder Scrolls Online's new expansion. Markarth.
I call it Mark Lark, like a South Park episode. Mark Lark.
I'm gonna call it Marky Mark.
The Marky Mark
You know,
edition.
like that racist guy who beat up a Vietnamese dude. That's
You
a
mean
thing. Look it up.
Mark
Wahlberg
Wahlberg?
beat the fuck. Yeah, he beat the
Shit.
fuck out of some Vietnamese dude. He was like 17 and like blinded him for life.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a
Damn.
thing. Look it up. But no. Dark jokes aside, Elder Scrolls Online. I've never played Elder Scrolls Online.
It's good.
I've heard it's good now, but it was dog shit when it was released.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
But I heard it's solid now. I'm not an MMO fan, dude.
You can play that game like you would play an Elder Scrolls game.
That's good to know.
Kinda. Like some of the combat is not as. I say that, but Elder Scrolls combat is like really bad. So, you know, this is a different kind of bad. It's not bad, but you know, it feels like MMO combat. Well,
yeah, that's good to know. The Markarth prologue is supposed to be free. It's got a free prologue for us, so that's cool.
Yeah, that game is free to play. You only buy the DLC. So
yeah. So it looks interesting. I mean, if you're already playing Elder Scrolls Online, chances are you're probably already playing that expansion.
yeah.
Then we got a trailer to the Nier Replicant remaster. Full name is version 1.22474487139.
Hell yeah.
Which I've never played anything before Nier Automata.
Well, this was so when Nier came out, it was called Nier in the United States, just Nier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in Japan, there were two versions of Nier. There were Nier Gestalt, which is what we got as Nier, and there was Nier Replicant, which was Japan only.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. This is a remaster of Nier Replicant, which is it's the same game.
Cool.
Yeah, I have this game on PS3 still.
Yeah.
Haven't played it.
Wait,
though.
Nier Replicant, the Japanese one, or Gestalt, the one we got here?
I have a Japanese one. It's patched, English patched.
Gotcha.
It's it's Nier, you know.
Yeah, I heard it's a weird, wonderful game, but my big concern is I heard the gameplay is like not the best in the original Nier.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of hoping, and I don't see Platinum's name anywhere on this. I'm kind of worried that we're gonna get that same combat.
No, I don't think so, because it's the original Nier was a very different game. Like Nier Automata was again more of that Platinum standard.
Yeah.
You know, much like the Bayonetta and that one Transformers game that they did. But it's gonna be a little more traditionalized, I think, unless they totally overhaul it, which is definitely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll have
I'm
to
not
wait
sure
and see
that's
what
what
they
they're
do with
doing.
it.
I think it is just a straight remaster, I do believe.
Which would be awesome.
But it's, you know, if you like Nier, you're gonna like this. Like everything you liked about Nier is still here, aside from that combat. Which, look, if we're being honest here, the Nier Automata combat is great. But
I'll be right back. Sorry, I got to do something really quick.
All right.
Sure. Like the Nier Automata combat was great, but I felt like it was real one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Like the combat was not the highlight to me of that game.
No, you definitely you're not juicing for it. You're like, oh man, I can't wait to do my 13th hit combo. Like it's not something you were into. You're just like,
where is this button
weird
masher.
Yeah, like where is this weird world taking me? Like
that's
for some reason for some reason I beat the game, and then it just randomly told me that was ending A. And you're like, wait, the alphabet has 20. No. Like,
well, you didn't know it was doing like 26 of them until like, I ate this fish and I got ending J, and he was like, oh, like
you decided to go home because you felt sad and sick, and you're like, oh, okay. It's like, do you want to restart? You're like, yeah.
That's why I like that game, just because like it broke it broke expectations.
It's weird. It's different. That's always welcomed.
This game doesn't really do that, but it's still got the story is great. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Like it's still a great game. So
yeah, I know tons of people excited for it, and I'm excited to. I like Nier Automata, and I was wondering where the Nier series came from. You know, like I want to see some of its origin. So
they're also making a mobile Nier game, which
like
I haven't seen much of. But
okay, is it like a dating sim? Do you get
it's
to
not
date?
a dating sim, but I wish it were.
Yeah. Listen, 2B. I mean, she kind of cool. I'd be like, yeah, let's go get some food. Even though she doesn't need to eat.
She doesn't need to eat, but she likes to eat though.
Exactly. See, good person. Good
person. Untitled Goose Game. We don't have to look at all these trailers, by the way. So, Untitled Goose Game. I think they already announced this too. It's getting a co-op mode. It might have already launched. I don't know if it launched already, but
I think it's coming out in a few days. Actually, I think on the 29th.
All right.
Yeah. So now you can double honk as fast as your heart desires.
Yeah, I didn't play much of this game. I kind of I got it and then I moved on. I was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things when you're like, yeah, like I just want to have an hour where I just don't do much and just kind of mess around and just kind of it's easy fun.
Yeah.
It's easy fun. You're not gonna be too you pick up and play it and that's just kind of it. Or it's me for you. You're like, haha, I am a goose.
Yeah.
I'm a goose on the loose. Like it's this, but it's cool that they're just adding more to it because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Also, I think that coincides with the Steam launch as well. That game was previously Epic exclusive. So.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Noita. This game is like an indie game that's it's like an indie side-scrolling 2D pixel art dungeon crawler where it's like super physics based. So that's like the huge thing about it is like there's a lot of fluids and physics and you can mix things and match things. So like you can mix water and fire and poison. There's gas and if you burn the gas it explodes and you can freeze things and do stuff with that. It's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a really high concept game for what it's doing, and I'm into it.
Yeah, I think it even has Steam Workshop support, so like there's mods and stuff for it as well.
Do you guys remember the old this old web browser game where it was basically a box and you'd put different types of like sand into it, but like you could also put like water and fire? It reminded me a lot of this because it was very pixelate. But like if you mix certain like if you put like gas and then put fire on it, it would like create an explosion. It reminded me a lot of these kind of physics as well.
Huh.
Looks cool. Looks good.
I always like when I like when things interact in other when you that was one of the cool things about Mario Maker is that you would see levels where people would build things and you're like, what would happen if I just put like a Koopa and gave it wings? Or no, they have that. They already have that. What would happen if I gave a Goomba wings? Or you would combine different stuff and you would just see what happens and they thought of like every combination and it was like, man, that's like really cool. Yeah, I usually avoid early access games until they launch, so I will be checking this out.
Yeah, it looks super interesting. I'm into it. This other game I'll be watching with great interest.
Yeah.
And this one I added because I found this is a thing.
Oh.
Cobra Kai is getting a video game. If you haven't seen that show yet,
I've not seen that show.
It's a great show. It's on Netflix. You should watch it. It's a lot better than it has any right to be. But the game looks like dog shit.
Oh no!
Like, look at this fucking janky ass looking beat 'em up. There's a reason. I saw this trailer like twice. There's a reason they show more footage of the show.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Are the cutscenes just going to be scenes from the show?
I did a lot more research on this than the game deserves, and it's an original story.
What?
Okay.
Yes.
Original story, but are they using like real actors?
I have no idea about that.
Yeah. Because that would be
But
interesting.
it looks fucking ridiculous. It looks awful.
This is beautiful. This is art. This is why video games were invented right here.
Yeah.
I thought with this generation of consoles, we've evolved past the shovelware.
Oh no.
Like the license
games,
game.
I guess not.
The thing is, we
Yeah.
didn't. They're all on mobile now because that's where the audience is.
Yeah.
So
Yo, it
I
has a
wouldn't.
skill tree and everything. Damn.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a mobile game. I would be surprised if this came to consoles.
Yeah. It's coming to console.
Okay.
yeah, it's
well,
Coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
wow.
With the physical version, you can pre-order at Best Buy.
Wow. Okay. Going all out.
Damn.
Like it looks awful, and that's why I wanted to add in. This is a thing that's happening.
Oh my god. Beautiful.
Again, if you haven't seen the show yet, the show's good, but the game looks awful. And I know this exists, so I'm going to curse the rest of you with knowledge this exists too.
I will never be the same.
Scarred for life. Let's go on with some releases. So September 22nd, we had 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim come out on PS4.
Yeah, that's the Vanillaware game.
Yeah, the one that doesn't play like other Vanillaware games. It's like a visual novel.
Yeah, I
with some
actually
light strategy elements.
One of my friends has been streaming that, and she it's more than what I thought it would be. It's like a visual novel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of visual novel stuff in it, and very little of that RTS stuff.
Yeah. Which I was kind of bummed about because when I heard it was an RTS, I was like, oh, they could still make like an RTS with giant robots work if Vanillaware's doing it. And then I saw what the RTS stuff looked like, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And if you don't know Vanillaware,
Vanillaware
made Odin Sphere,
Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's Crown. Yeah. So they have a very distinctive art style. When you see a Vanillaware game, you know it's them. But they usually make like action RPG style games. This is not that. Very much not that. And that's where like I was disappointed because I was like, man, I really want some Vanillaware action. Remember Muramasa?
Yep, that game was phenomenal.
Awesome game.
And they did that game dirty, dude. It got released on the Wii of all things.
Yeah.
And when it was time to remake it, they released Muramasa Rebirth. ... on the Vita.
Hey, that's where I played it. That's where I
played it too, and it's phenomenal.
And enjoyed it. So
that's where I played it too, and it's phenomenal. But like maybe release it for consoles that aren't out of print or that aren't out of production.
Yeah, it's hard to find that game anymore. See, that's the problem. Their games are hard to get, man. Like I was surprised when they did those PS4 ports.
Yeah.
But that's only 2 of their games out of like 4 or 5 they had.
Yeah, it's a huge bummer. Aegis Rim looks really cool. Now that I know that the weird like RTS stuff isn't a main factor of it, it would be cool to check out just for the story. I might look into that now.
The story looks really good. Everything's voice acted. The voice acting is really good.
I like that.
I'm interested.
Is it all in Japanese or is it in Japanese and English?
English.
Ooh.
And it's good. It's like good English. It's not like they're good voice actors.
That's good. I'm definitely into it, dude. I love me Vanillaware. I want to buy it just to support them. Like I love their artwork. I love their games.
Yeah.
Another game we have Halo 3 ODST came out on PC for the Master Chief Collection.
Ooh.
If you bought the Master Chief Collection, that's a free update. If you bought the whole collection. Or if you have Game Pass, you can get it for free.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
If you want to buy Halo 3 ODST by itself for whatever reason, it's only $5. Which,
Incredible.
joking aside, ODST gets a lot of shit, but it's a good game. I like it.
It's a good game. I think it's different. I think it's more of the black sheep of the series, but I think that's what is also what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it has that different element, different spice to it, you know?
Exactly. And that's out now. It came out September 22nd, so you can pick that up.
Nice.
On September 23rd, we got Kirby Fighters 2, which
What do we know
heard
about this?
It looks like a Smash Brothers style game.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that. There's like bosses you could fight, there's raids you could run through. It looks interesting.
I didn't know there were one of these already. So
yeah, it came out on 3DS years ago, and it was free to play with microtransaction mechanics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which I think the sequel's doing the same thing. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know. So you're saying this one still is free?
I think so. I'm double checking right now. Nope, it's $20.
No, this one you pay for. You can play with your friends and everything, and there's like I don't know, like 15 different Kirby's you can play as, and up to 4, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's like a story mode. You climb a tower, you face bosses, you'll face like iconic bosses and stuff like this. But
there's more to do than just fight each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I mean, that's how those Kirby games are. Like when they release a Kirby Air Ride, Kirby racing game, there's more to do than just racing people. It's similar. When they release a Kirby fighting game, there's a lot more to do than just fighting each other fighting your friends.
Yeah. Kirby Superstar on a SNES is one of the best. It's the best Kirby game ever.
Yeah, it's hard to top. It's hard to top. I have a soft spot for the 64 crystal.
Same.
Crystal shards.
Yeah, crystal shards. It's a soft spot for me, but yeah, Superstars.
Yeah.
Impeccable.
Kirby's just a fun game, dude. If you want a game that's like not going to demand too much from you, but it's fun to play, like that's the way to go, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Cozy Kirby Fighters looks fun. For $20, it's hard to go wrong for $20, you know?
You can do anything with Kirby, man. You can. Isn't there a Kirby Battle Royale?
I hope
there should be. I'd play that.
Yeah, give me a Kirby MMO. I'll try it.
That'd be dope.
I would play the hell out of a Kirby MMO. You kidding me?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. You could pick what class you are and everything, your copy abilities, and have different stats and everything.
That would actually work.
Yeah, listen. It's all there. Just someone needs to take the time just to really flesh it out. I mean, you could have like a system. Yeah,
we were talking last week. They made a Taiko Drum Master RPG game.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, this is genius.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Like it sounds like it shouldn't work, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. They should do it. They should definitely do it.
What else we got in releases? We have Dungreed coming out on Switch and PS4, which I didn't know what this game was until I saw that trailer, and now I'm like kind of interested. Have you seen the trailer for that game yet?
No. You know what I should do is start linking the trailers for these.
That's a good idea, yeah.
I don't know why I don't do that, but
I'll put it in the stream chat right now. Give me a second.
I found one.
You found one? It looks weird. So it's like a side-scrolling tower climbing RPG where you like fight dudes, you get better weapons, and you level up, and you can eat food to level up. Like it looks really crazy, and the pixel art style is deceptive because it looks very simple, but the gameplay doesn't look simple at all.
No.
Yeah, that looks
you see what I'm talking about? Like it looks crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like my kind of game.
This bit, right? There's this bit in the trailer that was really cool, like about 42 seconds in, where he has this big katana, and everything slows down, and he cuts through like a bunch of enemies. I'm like, what was that? That looks awesome.
See,
I
it's
love
games like
the
this where don't get any exposure.
Yeah.
Never heard of this anywhere,
yeah.
and it looks incredible.
Yeah. Like I'm 110% into this game. It looks like it has multiple playable characters, multiple weapons, and not fantasy weapons. Like some chick just had a rocket launcher and a shotgun.
The fun thing is that it's already out. You can get this now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's on Switch and PS4.
And
I
I
think
am
that comes with
into it.
Steam.
Ooh.
It might already be out on Steam. Let me check.
Possible, yeah.
I think this is like a console port of it. I think it's been out for a while already. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's out on Steam already for like $10.
Wishlist that and see if there's ever a discount.
It's $10, man.
Yeah, but you know.
But you know what's better than $10? $9.
Yeah, exactly. I can see the price history, so if it's ever been lower, it will tell me. So I'll show you right now. Let's see. The historical low has been $6.69.
Nice.
Yeah, 69.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if it ever hits that or lower, that's when I'll buy it. If you've never used istthereanydeal.com, they'll send you notifications on any game in your wish list. They'll send you notifications if it ever hits. Like, it's never been this low before, buy it now. They'll tell you.
Oh, that's really good. And then does it work for Steam or for?
It works on Steam. I don't know if they do console.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, if you're speaking about deals, I finally bought the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one collection on PS4.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that.
Because it is 70% off right now, $30. That is a $100 package. So
perfect.
And it really is like the all-in-one. It comes with all the Kingdom Hearts games, including 3.
Yeah. No, it's the easiest deal ever. Like it's if you want to get into the series or just play some of your favorites, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. On next release we have Jenga Force. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah. We wouldn't have to talk about all of these. I keep saying that, but then, what if another Dungreed comes up where it's like...
Yeah. This one looks interesting. So it's like a space shooter, not too dissimilar to like those bullet hell shooters, like the Raiden games, I think is what they're called.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently this came out on Xbox 360 like forever ago.
Yeah, I think this is from like 7-8 years ago or something.
Yeah. And this is like a remaster of it that's coming out on PS4 and Switch.
Ooh.
Or Switch or is it PC? PS4 and PC.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they're like a Toho series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks cool. I mean, if you're into like those like bullet hell shooters, like that might be worth looking into. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I like them when I'm good at them. But they're not an easy genre to break into.
No. I think I've tried maybe once or twice in the past, and I just you gotta change your mind for it. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like, oh, I lasted 10 seconds. It's great.
What's cool with this one, and they kind of showed off in the trailer, there's you can customize your ship, and they touted over 8,000 ship customizations.
Wow.
Damn. That's impressive.
A man who likes customization, so...
Yeah, exactly. So it might be worth looking into, like, just for that. But it's $20. I mean, who doesn't have $20?
I don't, but yeah.
Then we got Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which, I mean, if you're a fan of Roller Coaster Tycoon, man, the thing I can do to change your mind is coming out on PC and Switch. So good luck playing that on Switch.
Nothing I can do to change your mind. Roller Coaster Tycoon had its day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Way back. Way back. It used to be the best.
There's better alternatives now.
I agree.
Yeah. There's more to the series. I think they truly peaked when they did what was that one? It was kind of like a spin-off of theirs where you'd manage the zoo, so it wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah, but they added dinosaurs, and I'm like, oh my god, they're going off the rails, guys. They're adding shit that's not even real anymore. Like that was like peak. That was the peak there. Like,
You don't believe in dinosaurs?
I don't see them.
I believe in the Bible. The Bible said the world is 2,000 years old.
Exactly. You know what? They didn't mention dinosaurs. They're like, listen, dude
dinosaurs were put here by Satan to test us.
Jesus.
That's actually things I got into an argument with someone over that. That's actually something that they told me. So I'm not making that up. That was a thing that was told to me.
Yeah. That's
but yeah, we have another release. Serious Sam 4 came out on the 24th.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I was gonna buy this game. I'm not the biggest Serious Sam fan, but
same.
I was gonna buy it. Went to the store page, saw all the bad reviews, and I was like, "Oh, guess not."
Yeah, it's not getting good reviews right now, man. One of my favorite YouTubers who I trust for FPS reviews, G-Man Lives, did a review on it, and he didn't have a lot of positive things to say.
Yeah.
Which is a huge bummer because this is a game that you and I were both like, this looks good. I can't wait for it to come out. I just hope that Crow Team and Devolver Digital don't drop the ball on the new Shadow Warrior game when that comes out.
Yeah. Which, look, I was already like, this game's not gonna break records or anything, but I like Shadow Warrior just like I like Serious Sam. Like,
yeah,
they're games that people you gotta like it already to get into it. Like, you already know what it is going in. So, but this is bad though.
Yeah, dude, it's embarrassing. Oh god,
getting like Duke Nukem flashbacks.
Yeah,
you're not
worse.
It's. I mean, but not that they're like they're similar in some stature of like just their like craziness, but this reminds me a lot of when they were rebooting Duke Nukem.
Yeah, what if they did it in 2020?
Yeah,
that would be this game. Like, I think the thing I hate the most about it is how cheap the game looks. Like, I know it's a $40 game. Crow Team and Devolver Digital aren't like a big name, but goddamn, this looks like a Unity asset flip, dude.
I think it is though. They reused a lot of assets from the Talos Principle.
Really? Oh no!
If you ever played that game, the temple scenery they use is like all over the place in this game.
Oh no! Oh no! Such a bummer. Oh, it's such a bummer, man. I was really excited for this game.
I could be wrong, but damn, it looks super close.
Rough. It looks rough too, dude. Ugh. Yeah. I mean, hopefully they update it. We get some patches that fix it, but
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
Look, if you want to get into Serious Sam, get that. They have a collection on Steam that's like, it's not really a collection because you still need the individual games themselves. But they have a package that combines all those games into one, and it has workshop support, and I think that's the best way to play those games because
I agree.
It's it adds co-op, it adds VR support, and those old games are just way better than this one. So
yeah, they still play great. I was just playing them like about a week or two ago, and they're still solid games.
Yeah.
In other news, we had Tennis World Tour come out. That's a thing if you're into Tennis World Tour. I talk shit, but there's someone who's like, I was really excited for that one. I was a fan of the first game.
Was there someone out there? I mean, listen, you like the games you like, but I just, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm waiting for Cricket All Stars. Like when are we getting I just want every sport. Like if they're unironically, if they made a dodgeball sports game, I would play the crap out of that. Just like I get it. So I guess there's some people that are like supercharged for tennis or hockey or baseball or basketball, like any of these sports. So yeah, there's definitely some people that like it out there, but
nothing like that. But what was it, like a couple months ago? Nintendo released that 50-in-1 for the Switch, which is like 50 board games like built into
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Rockstar put out a ping pong game.
Oh yeah,
on
back like
Xbox
2008,
360.
2009.
Yeah. So.
And that game sold gangbusters, man. Like you couldn't find that game for the first like week it came out.
Yeah, when we put Rockstar on it, I mean, like it's going to sell regardless.
Also,
I mean,
early release 360 game. So there was not a lot to choose from on the 360 with that from around there.
That is true. That is true.
We also got Vampire the Masquerade Night Road, which is a continuation of that Vampire the Masquerade visual novel series that's supposed to tie into Vampire the Masquerade 2 whenever that comes out. They've been kind of drip feeding these visual novel Vampire the Masquerade games for a while, and this is like another continuation of it. Which, I mean, I can see people being into this. I mean, the big draw of the Vampire Masquerade games is the story. So if you want just that, here's some visual novels for you.
Perfect.
If you're one of the 12 people who are into this, let us know.
And then we got another release that came out yesterday, Mafia Definitive Edition, which we talked about a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Mafia, I had no idea how old Mafia was. The game came out in like 2002.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah, I had no idea how old it was. I thought it was like an early 360 game. It was like 2008, 2009. I had no idea it was this old.
Oh, yeah.
And again, this is another game that had a great remaster. So why the fuck can't Nintendo get on that same mindset? God damn it.
Because we know this. They're 10 years behind on everything. They just got online. They just figured some of it out, even though the net code's still terrible.
Yeah, but they've been emulating their games forever, so that's not a new thing.
Oh yeah, like they're not.
Oh god, it's such a bummer. Like I see remakes like this, and I'm like, why can't Nintendo do it? Speaking of remakes, Panzer Dragoon remake also just came out yesterday on PC.
Ooh.
Yes. So much stuff coming out that I need to get, but no time.
Which it looks incredible, and it's only like $23 right now on Steam.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. They did a really good job, and I know, unironically, a lot of diehard fans were really pumped about this because, Panzer Dragoon was just one of those games you picked up and you're like, what is this? And then you play, you're like, I'm kind of into it. I kind of like it.
And also, like, it came out on what, like the Sega. Not the Dreamcast,
Saturn.
before the Dreamcast. Was it Saturn?
Saturn?
Yeah.
And it never got released after that.
Exactly.
Yeah. There was an Xbox. There was an Xbox version. Panzer Dragoon Orta, I think that one was called.
Yeah, and that had a port of the original Panzer Dragoon like in it. But Panzer Dragoon Orta sells for like fucking like $100.
Yeah, they're expensive.
And it's because that the original Panzer Dragoon's in it. So you either pay $100 for Orta and get Orta and Panzer Dragoon, or you drop like $600 on Panzer Dragoon Sega Saturn.
And I know we all have our Saturns just in our closet somewhere. So
nah, I got the Game Gear. I didn't get the Saturn. I walked around with that Game Gear, man. That was my Sega console.
I still have my Dreamcast around here, surprisingly.
Ooh.
Dreamcast was good, man.
Never did.
Dreamcast didn't get. It's because it came out around the same time the PS2 did. So
yeah.
The worst thing the Dreamcast did was come out so late. Like if it had come out sooner, it would have been a great system.
Oh yeah, no, it had amazing games. Yeah, it really, and it was hard to compete with the PS2. The PS2 just was slated. Just so many games and so many wonderful, wonderful games came out for it.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
That was a lot of people's first DVD player.
Hell yeah. They're like, listen, you could play Freaky Friday on your PS2. And you're like, God damn. God damn, I'm ready for it.
When I was a kid, I hated DVDs because my logic was, tapes are more durable. Like if I can't scratch my tape. That was my logic. I was like 10. So I was like, why would anyone buy this? If you scratch that CD, you're fucked.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's harder to get in and like destroy the tape. Like it's in a shell, so you really
but every time you watch the tape, you're destroying it though.
Yeah, but then you're like, did this moment really happen? Is it weird that they just kind of cut to the finale like that? Maybe that's just how it always was. It's fine. It's fine. Everything.
What else we got? Coming out on the 28th, so in 2 more days. We have Genshin Impact coming out, which we talked about a bit on the podcast before.
Yeah, because it's weird. It's a weird game.
Yeah. It's a free-to-play Breath of the Wild clone with some Platinum Games-looking action elements.
Oh yeah.
But it's also like, it's a mobile game though.
Yeah, it's coming out on PC, PS4, and mobile.
It's also a mobile.
Yes. Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's a weird amalgamation of game ideas.
That's why I'm like super curious as to what they're gonna try to sell me in this game, because it's got to be rotten with it. I'm sure it's gonna be rotten with just free to play bullshit.
It's a free to play mobile game coming out of China. Yeah, it's gonna be fucking filled with like disgusting micro.
People seem super excited about it. So, but it looks like quality though. It looks,
it doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't.
Style is pretty cool. It's got that nice like smooth cartoony anime look to it. It don't look too bad.
And like, I can't tell if it's multiplayer. Like every time I see this game, I'm like, is this a multiplayer game or is it just AI or is it like I still don't know what the game is, but it looks good.
It has multiple characters you can play as too, and they all play differently. So I'm like, there's a lot here that's like got me excited, but then I think like free to play mobile game, and I get less excited.
Yeah.
It's like someone gave you brand cereal when you're a kid, and you're just like, ooh, I don't know about this one, Chief. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, because I'll have to wait and see. I mean, this is a game we've been following for the last 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah, definitely gonna check it out.
We've been keeping an eye on this for a while, and they've tried to rebrand themselves. Because I remember when you first saw the trailer to it, I was like, "Oh, that's that Breath of the Wild clone," and you're like, "What are you talking about? There's nothing Breath of the Wild in here." And then I showed you their first trailer.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and immediately you're like, "Oh yeah, this is a straight clone." But with weird Platinum Games combat elements, which I like. But I don't know, man. That free to play thing is bugging me. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's it. If there's any other releases I don't know about, you guys wanna share?
Nothing I've seen. I know Steam is doing a Tokyo Game Show event right now.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
So what I did was so there's a bunch of demos on there that you can download and play. There's a bunch of demos. Mm-hmm. What I did yesterday was I downloaded every single demo that was on there and streamed every single one.
Wow.
23 of them.
Oh my
god. So that I've got that archived up on the YouTube channel. So
nice.
If anyone wants to check that out, there's some really bad games in there. I recommend you check out Pull Stay. Some good laughs out of that. But the Steam thing is only going to be up until Monday, so if you want to check out any of those games, you can download them all until Monday. And I'm gonna put the link for that in that out. yeah, other than that, that's next week I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ooh,
Playing through
nice.
that.
nice.
And actually, I might have to do a part 2 to that demo stream we did, because they put out more demos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that? Remember that Raji game that Nintendo showed, that Indian game?
Oh yeah.
That's on there now, which it wasn't on there when I did the thing. So
I
I might
remember
have to
that
do
one. We had a lot of good things to say about it.
yeah, I might have to do a part 2 because I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII next week. Xero, what are you doing? What do you got going on next week?
For next week, not too much. I'm buying some time until the first week of October, because I know the new Crash game is coming out, so I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Nice.
But until then, I'll probably play a little bit more of 3D All Stars. I wanted to do like a discussion on it, so I got to play it more. So I got to be sad. And yeah, that's about it.
Where can people find you?
Oh, well, people can find me on the internet. On Twitch, you can find me for Zero Level, just as it's spelled, with an X instead of a Z, because it's cool like that, I guess. Not really. And then on Twitter, you can find me on the same handle. And then YouTube is Level Zero, just because I couldn't get the name right. There's someone that already existed. It's funny enough. So yeah, that's where you can find. Yeah, it's me.
All right, Rick, what are you playing next week?
I'll probably keep playing Dragon Quest, man, between like shifts at work, because of I work in insurance, so because of this COVID outbreak, I've been working like crazy. Dude, we're getting so many calls and people trying to postpone their payments, or it's been ridiculous. So I've been packed with that, but I'll probably keep playing Dragon Quest because I could take it anywhere with me. I can play on my lunch breaks at work and stuff.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of Tokyo Game Show, Square Enix had their show like a couple days ago, and they announced like 12 new Dragon Quest games.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
Dragon Quest still popping out in Japan.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot bigger in Japan than it is here, man. In fact, there's a rumor, it's a myth, that Square Enix isn't allowed to release Dragon Quest games during the week anymore because Tokyo like comes to a standstill whenever Dragon Quest game comes out.
Like kids skip school and stuff like that.
Skip work.
Yeah.
It's not entirely wrong, but Square Enix did take it upon themselves to release Dragon Quest games on the weekends because they're scared of like Japan coming to a standstill if they release it during a work day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy got an impact like that.
The power of gaming at your fingertips.
Well, yeah, that's gonna do it here. Twitch.tv/Gameoverse. Oh, hold on. Twitch.tv/Gameoverse, you know. Yeah. Check out Zero Level.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Zero-Level.
Oh, thanks guys for having me. It was a lot of fun actually, and I just love talking games, and I don't do it enough. So this was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you on again whenever you want. You're free to join us.
Hey man, we do this every week. It's supposed to be every Tuesday, so we'll have one another one pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hit me up. I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, that's going to do it. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Thanks for listening. Shouts out California, who I looked at the analytics, and they are repping hard with the podcast. So, shouts out California. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.